takes it, but it's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Sim racing fans, and welcome once again to SRW TV. Tonight, it's round 5 of our TCR touring car season, and it's the battle for the Ashes with a mix of English and Aussie tracks coming our way throughout the season. Tonight, we're back in the Northern Hemisphere in the land of the Poms. It's Brands Hatch GP layout, and it's all thanks to our round sponsor, Warren and Brown Tools. Brands Hatch, it's a favourite track for many drivers, quite flowing and offers a variety of challenging sections for every sort of driver, so it should be an awesome night of racing here. It's Cowy, your average sim racer. I've got Rob Hayter, the sainted man, with me in the comms at the moment. Hopefully Chef Toddy will be with us soon, but Rob, back with the TCRs, and it's such a flying place like this, it's going to be quite interesting, buddy.
Oh, especially with these cars, Cowy, and good evening, everybody. Welcome on in. Yeah, as you're saying, it's fast, it's flowy, and these cars definitely love to get that momentum. They love to keep the momentum. I think they're going to have a lot of fun around here tonight.
I think so as well. I was actually rather surprised. I thought we might have been running one of the shorter layouts that you see in some of the Mazda Cup races and that, but no, it's the full GP layout here at Brands Hatch, and a great track it is. It has elevation changes, there's sweeping corners, has a blind turn like Road Atlanta, and that just makes for such exciting racing. And in a TCR where you've got to turn in early to get the turn done, it's going to be quite interesting. A couple of those corners, we're going to get to see how brave these drivers are going to be, especially in quali.
Oh, exactly right. And I think we're kind of mirroring what the British touring cars would be like over here, mate, to be fair. Like having those guys and that running their class there, and then we're going to piggyback straight on it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mate, it is going to be an awesome race. Had a good belt around here last night in the V8 Supercars, the AM Series, and I made one mistake, and it pretty much cost me 3 positions. Well, I think I dropped back from 3rd, I finished 6th, but these things happen, and that's what it's going to be for these guys, especially in quali. How much do you commit to cutting these corners? Because that's where the speed is.
Yeah, well, you talk about quali last night. The top 10 shootout was miraculous. Like the first 4 cars didn't set a lap. It was almost like they had just come out on ice. There was just no grip. The drivers reporting it was all skatey. So yeah, I mean, again, we're going to be seeing very much a similar situation tonight here in quali, where we won't get the shootout, but definitely going to be the understeer and the slidiness of these cars as they sort of come down, especially down through here. This corner here, you're trying to brake and turn and keep everything gripped up, but it's so easy to overshoot and just miss that, hit the grass, and once you hit the grass, we saw last night, it's pretty much all over. There's no recovery from it.
Well, the thing that these guys probably have in their favour is we've had a 2-hour practice here, so that means that they've actually put a bit of rubber down on the track. I think of late we've been seeing that the track states have basically been 0% at the start of practice. When we have to change servers, and that it's sometimes a bit of a guess by race control of how much they put on the next server, and I think last night it started at 0, so there might have been a bit more grip for a couple of us getting near the end of the quali, but yeah, she was still pretty skaty.
But I mean, that's part and parcel. Like, I mean, you go out, it's what you do in a shootout. I mean, sometimes you get the luck of the draw and you get a good track, and sometimes you get a wet one or a dry one, and it's just part of the racing, isn't it? You just got to play what's in front of you.
And the thing in the shootout too, I think once a few of those guys fell by the wayside, I mean the rest of the people started just sending it anyway, because the worst you could get is 6th by that time, so you tend to see even more sort of voided laps. But we're here for TCRs. Don't forget, guys, that following the TCR, this is a normal round tonight, so it's be a 45-minute race, be 15-minute quali. The quali can go beyond that 15 minutes, so if you're on a lap, you will get a chance to finish it. But 45 minutes here, I think the fuel limit is up 40% this week. I'll have to check that. But that generally means that these guys will need at least 1 pit stop. Tyres, as always, are optional in the TCRs. and it's all going to be about getting it turned in and carrying as much speed as you can.
Yeah, exactly right, Howie. Howie, exactly right. It's all about momentum. It's all about flow around this place. So this is going to be really interesting. So we're about 2 minutes away from quali. Not forgetting that we got. Looks like everyone's liveries are updated. We had a few issues in the last couple of weeks, so it looks like everything's finally caught up and locked in now. So easier for you viewers
awesome.
to keep up with your favourite driver and where they are on track as we bounce through some of the cars throughout the night. But thank you for everyone just being patient with us while we try and get that sorted out. It looks like we have got on top of it, so that's a good little thing coming into quality now.
That's it. And of course, if you are enjoying the content, please give us a like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything, notifications, all the works, and that way you help support us here at SRW, and you also don't miss out on the great action that we got on play. Now, it's still pretty early here. We've got, about a minute to go before quali starts. It'll be interesting to see who will be the guys on the pace. We do have our usual suspects, Dylan DeBono and Doug Gowan's top of the practice sheet. Tyler Sheaf's put a nice lap in there as well, so I have to keep an eye out, though by the looks of it there's a few drivers that are still to put down some times of practice, so we might have a few late arrivals, buddy.
I don't know if you can see the third digit in those times, but can we look at Tyler Sheaf and Jake Edwards? We're talking about pace. Two completely different cars. Look at the times. 33.45 by both drivers.
That's it.
I mean, we saw this again in the V8s last night. We saw the M Series. You know, those guys that were just right on the pace. They were the same pace, hitting the same numbers, and it's just crazy. And especially in these things, because we have seen the Audi get a little bit of an advantage overall, but you know, overall, it's going to be very, very close tonight, I think. You're looking at Dylan DeBono there at the top, Dougie Gowan's in second, Tyler Sheaf and Jake Edwards there 3-4, Matty Keefe in 5, and we're still in the 33s right back to P7, so there's not a lot that's separating these guys as we now get to the end of practice. And Max Donnelly just puts on a bit of a expression session on the way out of practice there. So thank you, Max. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, he's had a good round at Knock Hill, Max Donnelly for NZ Sim Racing. Then followed it up by P2 at Phillip Island. So we had two P2s in a row there. Was Max here last week? I'm not sure. Didn't feature in the podiums for the last week at the sprint round at Winton. That saw Dylan DeBono's return for a couple of P2s, and Jake Edwards with a P1 and a P3 probably took out the round, though Doug Gowan's P1 in that second race just has further extended his lead in the championship. It's currently 65 points over Matty Keane for SLM Motorsports. And Velocity Sim Labs are 10 points clear in the teams championship at the moment over Scotty Rankin and Matty Keane, though it's going to be a one-man show from now on with Scotty's departure. Whiskey Runners running in P3, only 10 points further back, and Apex Esports are equal third. So the teams battle's pretty tight as well, buddy. But
Yeah,
Brands Hatch, it's all going to be about qualifying here, getting it hooked up, maybe trying to keep those tyres clean so that you can get enough heat in them to do a good lap around here, buddy.
Yeah, for sure, Cowy. And look, we talk about survival, and as we see it on camera there, it's about surviving. It's just not making those unforced errors, because in these cars, an unforced error is going to hurt a lot throughout tonight's race, because they are going to be so close. You will drop 3 or 4 spots very quickly, yeah.
One of the Whiskey Runners turn around there. Well, I mean, the issue, especially in quality, is that it takes you like 2 or 3 laps to get them up to temp. So if you make a mistake at Bennett, then you've got to start that process again. And you've only got, 15 minutes to do a quali, and they're doing, 1 minute, 30-something times. So 15 minutes, what, you get 9 attempts?
Yeah,
you use it up. Exactly, that's right.
Yeah, about 9 attempts, but again, you want to stay clean. You just want you want to put a banking time in. You want to get that time in, just so you've got a little bit of room to press, as we see in the background. That looks like Ben Johnson maybe
Yeah, a bit of lawnmower there.
Just going and cleaning up the grass for us there. But again, like it's just about getting that time in and then seeing if you've got room to improve. Like how much can you leave out there as the session sort of gets on and a little bit progression happens on the track and it rubbers up a bit. How much more grip do you have? Just things like that. So I'm not expecting fast laps straight out of the gate here, but I definitely think later in the session we'll see some quick times. If we see Dylan DeBono's already punched 2 purple sectors, so maybe Dylan's just come out. He's going to fire a lap quickly and try and bank it. So,
well, part of this here is you can also treat it as a bit of a practice of what that first lap is going to be like in the race. So I think it seems to be different in some cars. Certain cars you don't want to abuse the tyres. So I know in the supercar you tend to do pretty slow laps, keep it under 200 k's an hour, so that you don't use up too much rubber. But other cars, you want to send it from the start to get some heat in them.
I think there goes Dylan DeBono straight to the top of 33. I think he might have got a little bit of that draft too off Dougie Gowans. So the boys just already playing the team game.
And swapping positions by the looks of it now too. So we'll see how that goes.
And next thing we've got to consider too, Cowy, is you've got 2 or 3 cars per team in here. So we might look at the leaderboard and go, oh, Dylan DeBono's gone to the top. But, his teammates right behind him, just keeping the pressure on and they're pulling away from the team. They're making those 1-2s happen, quite regularly. They're giving the team the advantage by getting forward and pushing each other. So, as much as we see the driver battle, but it's also the inter-team connection there as well.
And of course, I think Dylan's missed a couple of rounds, so there's a big gap in the points between him and Doug. So if it starts to come down that someone starts to threaten Doug's stranglehold on this championship, then he's got a pretty good wingman there to sort of, run a bit of shotgun for him.
Oh, 100%. You've got your Mavericks in there, don't you? So, we just jump on board with Dylan DeBono and we talk about not making these mistakes. And it's just watching the inputs, how smooth he is in, out of the corner, not many adjustments, all those kinds of things, because that's what's going to keep him in the race.
Brands Hatch is one of those places that you can take a fair bit of liberties with the track limits. So there's a couple of places where you can put a tyre on the grass and you won't get an off track. You can drive your way out of it. Sort of down here, as we look down into T1, you watch how wide he goes and he's running right out into that AstroTurf and almost out into the sand, and that's all a part of the racetrack. So same thing, you should try to jump up over this curb if you can. Look at that, right over the top of it. And the same thing up here, you can run wide out to the right here and use that bit of extra green.
We just bounced some Matty Jarrell with the purple sector there. So Matty launches that to P5. But yeah, Dylan DeBono did just run quicker there, 32.9. So
and those times are starting to come down as temp gets into the tyres.
So we see Dylan DeBono now just punch a double purple 1 and 2. So he's really on for a very quick lap here. So we'll jump back to him and we'll jump on the nose cam there.
Have a look at this cut up here. This is one of the spots that will tell you how much liberty you want to take there and the next corner. This one here, you're almost turning in like Road Atlanta before you see it. Look at that, how Murray went over it.
Yeah,
that's how you have to try and take it. Yeah, it's completely blind.
You can't see it. It's like, what is it, turn 3? I think, 3 at Road Atlanta. You come up over the hill and
that's
you've
it.
got
Road Atlanta coming up over the hill.
Yeah, switch left and then right again. So we'll see if you can
effectively
look at
that's really what it is.
All across the board. Dylan DeBono on an absolute flyer right now.
Someone's taking a purple sector up in there, but that still is a blistering lap. What's he done? 32.3.
Holy cow. Dylan DeBono is not messing around tonight, Cowy. This is impressive.
Well, he's got 0.7 over the grandpa, his teammate and current series leader, Doug Gowans. But you can see that Doug now may be starting to benefit from a tow. Or maybe Dylan's just stretching that lead to get away from the tow.
Boston Styles has bailed on that lap. We'll pick him up. We'll jump over to Greg Johnston here. Right, Greg's going to bail as well. Just roll out of it.
And he's coming through. Michael Locker's looking to start a lap there, I think, as well.
Lockie.
So at the moment, Lockie's sort of trying to find a bit of pace. Might have had a moment there yeah, he has just pitted recently, so he will have to concentrate here and try and get these tyres up to temp.
Look at the splits again. Dylan DeBono firing another 3 purple sectors on the next lap. Make that 4.
He's definitely dialing himself in here at Brands Hatch.
He's on the flyers early. He's got, like you said, he's already a few points down in the series, so he wants to get back on that run and see what he can do. Jump over here with Mark Cochrane now.
You can see cutting using all the apex.
He's
Just
out.
a bit too much on exit. Yeah. That'll be an off track for sure. That'll
Yep.
make counting.
That's unlucky there. Mark Cochrane's sitting in P8. He's not far off the pace ultimately, but it's just those unforced errors, and that's what it's going to take if to try and get up that order.
If you look at Max Donnelly, Jake Edwards, and Mark Cochrane, they are all within about 400ths of each other. So again, we talk about it being really tight in clumps. Being a little bit smaller series, you will get a stretch of the sort of driver skills in these cars. Some of these guys focus on these TCRs, others maybe focus on the supercar or the F3s and decide to come in and have some fun in the TCRs. So that can give you a bit of a spread of the times. But one of the things that we always talk about, Rob, is that if you're within 3 seconds of the fast guys, you're actually not doing too bad. Because you think about it, if there's 12 corners at a track, or 14 or 20, and you find 2/10 every corner, there's your 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. That's the difference.
Exactly right, and that can be made up just in a braking zone. That can be made up in just at slightly more pace on an exit, or even just coming in a little bit quicker. It can be made up in so many different ways on the sim. It just comes down to, I guess, how much you want to send it and hang on to it.
Well, I always have been sort of trying to, like, I don't know if you saw my performance last night. I was trying to send it as much as I could, and you will make more mistakes when you're doing that. But when you look at the really fast guys in the sim compared to us average Joes, the difference is they send it.
Oh, I mean, they spend, some of these guys spend hours in the sim compared to some of us who've got like maybe a couple of hours a week. So, there's some guys that they're on another level.
There's Max Verstappen's that decide to put simulators in their planes as well,
Yeah, look, these guys, they definitely spend a lot of time on there, and it shows because you learn the car, you learn what it's doing, you learn how to maneuver the car, where to position it. You just learn things about the car, and every car you drive on the sim is very different. As you see, David Leslie just finish off a 32-second lap there. That's going to elevate him. No, it's 34 seconds. Sorry, my bad. It does bring him up though. But yeah, as they start to learn the cars and the intricacies of how to brake the car, turn the car, where it likes to do things, they generally just come out faster, and it shows. It shows that they can get the job done when they need to.
Oh, look, a fast driver is generally a fast driver in any car because they understand the principles. When you start out on your sim racing journey, and you jump over to iRacing, that's when you find out that you're not really a sim racer yet. Or a fast one at least.
Yep.
And but when you start to analyze it, it's the same things that work in the real world. So using all of the track, the maximum width you can, hitting your apexes, accelerating through your apexes, trail braking, all of those techniques that work in the real world work on the sim. I suppose the main difference is you don't get to experience those G-forces, but pretty much everywhere else we got laser scan tracks and cars that are rendered, pretty close to what they're supposed to react like. So, in the end, that's why real world motorsports uses it as a tool. He's just run a bit wide there. Nice to get the pits, so he'll be able to get that fixed if he needs to.
I guess one thing, Cowy, is when you first come on to, say, sim racing, be it with iRacing or even Assetto Corsa or things like that, understanding that there is training tools out there that you can use that to actually like help you get better. Like you do a lap and it'll tell you, hey, you're a bit slow here, here, and here, and this is why. You know, you're inside, you're too tight, you're too slow, or you know, you're just doing things wrong. So it allows you to understand. And you know, the fast guys have used those tools for a long period of time, and some of us blokes, namely myself, are just finding these tools now and being like, oh, well, I thought I was fast, but I'm not really.
Talk about it. You can talk about another level, Rob, when you start going into data and looking at hard data like, you know, they do in the real world. You know, and again, I mean, this can be that advantage that some of the really quick guys go to that depth. And, you know, in the end, it comes down to consistency lap after lap. But what I've found looking at it, the fast guys are the guys that have got basically a higher limit that they can drive to. And effectively what they're doing is they're sending it every time. That's right on the edge of grip. How many times can you say you're driving around for an entire race where you've got the car right on the edge of grip? And I can't say that I've fully got it there, but that's where, you know, the idea that where you need to be at that top level, all things like that happen.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I can't drive on the edge of grip right now.
Well, that's what. Yeah, it's one of those things that's quite interesting. And thanks, Contagious. Yeah, it was a great spin there for the speed. That's Fritzy, is it?
Yeah.
Contagious out there saying to Bono maybe should have put his car on the scales. Well, you can do some rather interesting setup choices in iRacing, but I don't know if I would call them exploits. So, you know, it's more about, you know, again, I think the key is always getting the car turned in, if it can turn in, and get on the gas. So, I suppose I was almost going to say I'm like Max Verstappen, liking a pointy car, but I'm nothing like Max Verstappen. He is a freak. So, but I do like a pointy car.
Yeah, I mean, every driver's got their own style, don't they? Some like to brake early and get in slow and out fast, and some like to just flow the car generally. Some like to trail brake more. Some are stop-start drivers. And I mean, it all works for the individual driver once they identify their strengths and weaknesses, and they can perform more to their strengths, you know? So you're saying you like a pointy car, and I like a car that's probably just a little bit softer. You know, I like a car that just floats a little bit more. You know, I can catch a slide, or I can, you know, I don't mind a car that's a little squirrely. You know.
But again, that's all well and good until you jump into a TCR when you got in this thing that just won't turn, and you know you end up sort of trying to lock a brake to well, there might have been a bit of contact there. I don't know. We'll keep an eye out on the radio if anyone says anything. But you know, again, you know, when you're using the brake mid-corner to try and get the rear of the car to rotate, you know, as I said, the supercar that sort of does that with the throttle. But that's the advantage of trying out different cars. Those techniques can cross over. We've talked about real-world crossover. We've talked about sim crossover. But in the end, I know we get in trouble for calling this simulation a game, but we get to play it in the comfort of our own homes and have a blast and join on track with our mates. So, you know, that's sort of something you can't really do in the real world, can you?
No, that's right. And while we've been gibbering, that's the end of quali, mate. It's all over. These boys are just going to finish their laps. It looks like pile of sheep and Matty Cochran, the last guys out there.
And is that their usual suspects, buddy, up the front? It does look like our usual suspects. We'll just give these guys to finish the last of their laps. And while we do that, we will give a big shout out to our sponsors. Simrigs.com have come on board as one of our sponsors, our newest sponsor. I know they sponsored the B8s last night, so it's great to have them on board. Of course, Fast Track Experiences, Racecraft.net, Grim Industries, Toyo Sim, Melville Equipment Corps, Dragon RC, and of course our round sponsor tonight, Warren and Brown Tools. The promo department is our safety car, and of course we can't do any of this stuff without their support. Well, Rob, it's a normal round tonight. 15-minute quali is over. We'll bring up the grid so we can see how these boys have done, but it's 45-minute race coming ahead. Is there, I think there no cars left out on track, buddy?
No cars on track, but race controller just going through their briefing, and then
There we go.
getting through their session stuff. So there we go. We can now bring up the grid.
All right, well, there it is. Well, it is Dylan De Bono taking it away with a half a second advantage, so over his teammate Doug Gowan. So the Velocity Sim Labs boys are going great once again. Looks like Doug did manage to bridge that gap a little bit. It was 0.9 earlier, so maybe Doug's got something to say about Dylan running away with this one. Jake Edwards for Crisscross Racing running P3. Jake has been a regular podium finisher. That race win has eluded him so far this season. Can he get it? Oh no, I apologise. He had a win in the first heat race at Winton last week, so I do apologise, Jake. So you have got a win, but I know you want more. Matty Gerard in P4, the other Velocity Sim Labs. So 3 of the 4 spots Velocity. That makes it hard for the other teams. Though Tyson Styles for Crisscross, he's jumped into 5th to give Jake a bit of support there. And Daniel Fritz, the first of the Whiskey Runners, running in P6. Max Donnelly for Team New Zealand, P7. David Leslie for B Positive Racing in P8. Mark Cochran for Apex Esports League in P9. Matty Keane, P10 for SLM Motorsports. Tyler Sheep, the other Whiskey Runner, running P11. Kurt Ingwerson in P12. Can't remember if your team is listed, Kurt. If you haven't done that, buddy, please just make sure you it's KTHNX Racing. I found it, but you need to put it in the SDK driver app, buddy. All right, and then we've got Tyrone Walsh, Stephanie Piccoli, Michael Locke, Greg Johnston, and our race controllers. All right, Rob, we're about to go green. 45 minutes around here. Flowing track. I reckon we're going to see lots of moves, buddy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, these boys are not going to hold back. They're going to get it wound up. These cars are going to get right off the gate. We got our lights going on. You got
here we are. This is round 5 of our TCR Championship here at SRW. A little bit slow off the line. Dylan De Bono. Is that Jake Edwards has made a great spot. Has gone up the inside. He's going to run through and take P1 into the first turn. I think Doug might have been a little bit gentle on Dylan there and ran a bit of cover. What do you think, Rob?
I think he might have just given him a little bit of a wind there. He didn't really push on. He was definitely...
I think so, and Jake Edwards saw the inside run and a great move. Tyson Styles has also picked up a spot as well. So,
Dylan sending it up on Jake Edwards right there. He's like not hanging around.
Dylan not waiting any time. You're right there, buddy. So Jake with a brief sniff for only a few corners. Now he's going to try and see if he can stay with the pace setter, certainly so far, if qualifying is any indication. I think the rest of the field looks like Tyler Sheep, P11, he's qualifying. He's a bit disappointed with that, but he's picked up 4 spots so far on the opening lap, running P7. Max Donnelly up a couple. Kurt Ingwerson up a couple into P10 as well. Matty Gerard, our big loser, he's fallen down from, was that 4th position back to 8th, back to 12th. So we might try and have a look at what's happened to him, but not quite yet. Oh, who's that into the wall down there? I saw that at the back of the screen. Who's that? Kurt Ingwerson. Yeah, I think there might. I don't know if there was contact there or not, buddy, but he's nosedived into the wall, and that's.
Let's try a replay.
Has he got going? Let's have a look.
So you don't hear those, Kurt, right there on the screen.
Here we go here.
Is it a case of
so
cold
he's carrying
tires?
good speed.
Oh,
he's just
grabbed
got on
the
grass.
grass.
That's all self-inflicted.
Oh, no. He's just,
that's going to hurt the front of that car.
That
She won't want to turn much
now.
now.
Absolutely destroyed. I'll have to see if he can get it back to
the pits? Yeah.
Not far away from the pit lane there, but still not very good.
All right, well, it looks pretty tight here in the middle pack here. Tyler Sheep, Matty Keane, Matty Gerard. We're on board with Tyler Sheep at the moment as he's chasing down Matty Keane. Matty Keane's having a look at David Leslie here. Is this move up on the inside? Is it on? Good. They both gave each other room. It's pretty... and crossed back in for the draft. But you can see there that both of them plenty of respect and gave each other room. I think Matty could have tried to run him out off the road there, but it's more about the racing here at SRW. Not just about the place, it's about battling. Here we go, let's have a look how tight and ambitious are these guys going to be here?
Kurt Ingelson's made it back to pit lane, so no safety car there, so good linking job. He got it back, so that's awesome.
Yeah. Just hope it doesn't put him a lap down. He's coming out now. He's going to be relying on a safety car to maybe get back into this race at the moment. So that was unfortunate for Kurt.
Tyler Sheath has just tumbled down the water. What's going on
Mark
with
Cochran
Sheath
as
there?
well, so something's happened there.
So I'm throwing back to see what's gone on here with Sheafy. What's he done?
All right, so...
Oh, has he been given a bump? I don't know.
Oh, I think that might be.
Yeah, it might be something.
I think I heard a
for,
comment on the radio there, so that might
upstairs
be.
to look at. And then you just see the rest of the cars just got nowhere to go. Just get caught up in that. Unfortunately, Michael Locks also had a crash as well around very similar time. So I think it might be in sort of relation to that.
We might want to try and see if we can find out what happened to Matty Gerard there early on as well. Something big happened to him on that lap one. If you get a chance to bring that up, Rob.
Matty Gerard.
This was right near the start of the race, so this is what happened to Matty. He had a tap as well. No,
that's actually the one with.
No, that's the tap that he did.
Trial,
so that was that event. So Matty could be in a bit of trouble, but he did have a moment earlier on in the race. But let's go back to live action here. We're on board with Matty Keane at the moment, currently running P7. He's up 3 spots. Behind him, Tyrone Walsh up 5 spots. So they're our 2 big movers. Greg Leake up 9 spots at the moment. So Leakey's managed to have a pretty good start after an ordinary qualifying. He's making his way up into that mid-pack.
Yeah, exactly right. Nothing really went on there. It must have just been a bad start. Must have just been looks like we've got a car 55 standby. So who's car 55? Kurt Ingleson again. Looks like may have our... Yep,
and it is safety car called out, so see if you can see what happened to Kurt there.
Kurt Ingleson went off track. It's this one, not just here.
Let's have a look.
So again, he's just caught the grass.
Oh, he's just runs wide, same corner. So.
Battle of survival. Oh, no.
Well, okay, so...
ouch.
Same. I reckon that's almost the same spot in the wall there, too. And that if the other one before hurt the car, I think that one broke it.
All right, that's so unfortunate.
That is a tricky corner. I made a mistake there last night. That's where it cost me. But that is one of those corners. That's the blind turn corner, the Road Atlanta corner. And if you get it wrong, you're going to run wide like that.
Yeah, 100% Cowy. And look, these cars, they just don't like, when they get out there, there's no catching them like the supercars last night. Once they get on that grass, you've just got no chance. They just rotate so fast.
You've got to coast. The only chance you've got is coasting. You've got to get off those inputs and hope you can keep the car straight enough to get somewhere back near the road. If you try and keep on any level of power, this is interesting. If you guys are electing to do an early pit stop here, does that mean that they could get home?
I don't know.
Or will there need to be some fuel saving? That is interesting. Well, that's Doug Gowan. Now, Doug's our championship leader, so he's not a stupid driver. So is there a method in madness here? Is the fact that the safety car hasn't come out and track yet mean he can do another lap at full speed?
I don't know. I've got a pit time there for Dylan Runner, only 6.6 seconds, so it's only a splash. So I wonder if they did that on purpose. I wonder if that's just a little splash to get through. Maybe they've got enough fuel.
Well, it's certainly possible. Matty Keane, he's jumped up a whole heap of spots now too, so perhaps a few guys deciding a splash gives them a bit of an advantage. One of the things actually we could think about, Rob, is what if you were right on the edge of this being a 2-stopper or a 1-stopper with a bit of fuel save or maybe an early stop? Alright, so say if you could do a 1-stop and possibly save and get to the end, then if you pit now, you've now cut that out and it's a 1 more stop, you get home. So,
Yeah, it's looking
I like
interesting.
well, I love this speculation, buddy. I mean, this is the stuff that gets me going when I was racing. I know, again, don't want to talk too much about my own drive last night, but initially we thought about fuel saving and tried it for a couple of laps, but just the time that it cost you versus the gain just wasn't enough.
The risk versus reward just doesn't match out. You know what we're going to see
It's
here?
not that, it was more it was speed versus how much fuel you were saving. You're giving up.
Look at this on screen. Dougie Gowan's up there, Velocity Sim. Matt Keefe, Tyrone Walsh, SLM. Dylan DeBono, Velocity Sim. So the SLM boys are going to be fronting that leader there with Dougie Gowan out the front. And then you've got Dylan DeBono for trying to ride shotgun there for his teammate. He's going to be trying to get back through these boys. And Tyrone Walsh is up 10 spots. And the man behind him, Greg Leak, up 14 spots.
It's interesting. There's going to be maybe that's a split strategy, and they're trying both ways to make sure sort of one of them finishes near the front. It's quite interesting. But again, what about Hunt? Well, there's only about 6 cars that chose not to pit.
Yeah.
So
6 cars.
So that's Doug, Matthew, Tyrone, Greg, Mark, and who's the other driver? Daniel.
Greg
Johnson.
Yeah, Greg Johnson. So I don't know. This is interesting. I guess it depends on how long the safety car's out for. Because we're going on 2 laps now.
Well, one of the things about last night, we got an extra lap in. I think the leader, 3 or 4 of us at the front, got an extra lap in. If that safety car had come out, that would have got us really close to being able to do one more stop, get home. We didn't have a safety car. We've got the promo department safety car out here now, so that brings this stuff all into the equation. If you guys out there in YouTube or Facebook land know the answer, or even want to speculate as hard as we are, make sure you put the comments up there. SRW TV, so that might be Shibby behind the scenes, with a go Leaky. And we do know, Leaky's had a few health concerns at the moment, so we do wish him the best. But it's great to see him out here on track and still enjoying his sim racing.
Yeah, exactly. It's always good. You never want to hear any of your fellow competitors having a rough time with it all, but it's good to see him out there and still having a go at us.
Is that Dylan DeBono just blinked a little bit then, I'm wondering? So there's a couple of cars that blinked. Yeah. Now, I think Dylan's car's generally been pretty good in racing, but when they club up together, I don't know, we noticed him blink the other week, and he actually got a penalty because he blinked and appeared inside a car, taking him out. That's not his fault, it's just the internet, but... All right, well, the safety car is pulling away from the field. It is in the hands of Doug Gowans once again. We'll see if Doug goes early or if he holds them back. I wouldn't be surprised to see him hold them back here just to give Dylan a chance to attack. Okay, he hasn't gone yet. Oh, now he has. Yep, it's gone now.
Yeah, he's definitely gone. So
so who's that coming into the pits?
That's the BMW.
Is that Tyrone Walsh?
Oh, actually.
No, Tyrone Walsh has just come into the pits.
Yeah, Tyrone Walsh.
Is that a penalty? It could possibly be a penalty. I didn't see anything. I haven't seen a penalty issue.
He's looking real racy on this restart now too. He's getting right up in the back.
Oh, hang on. What if he's got his own penalty? If he sped in pit lane when he pitted?
Tyrone Walsh, 8-second stop, so it's only a fuel stop. So that was in and out, so yeah.
Okay, so maybe he realised he can get home now.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
And look at this.
With that Dylan DeBono's already up to P3. Yeah.
And he's all over the back here.
Matty King just gave that inside line. Dylan has to think twice about going here because, Matty can feed him out wide here. Yeah, so he thought he got out of it there and try and crisscross. That's right.
Is he going to get it? No, he's not going to get it done just yet.
Let's just have a look. But early on, if he has to stay on the outside there, mate, same as here. You don't want to be on the outside of this corner here because you can get fed wide real easy.
And just watch here with Dylan Durano is he's really putting the heat on the back of Matty Keane. Dylan Durano not holding back tonight. He's shaping, he's filling the mirrors. He's looking for that unforced error there, Cowy. He's trying to push him into something that he's probably not comfortable with there, Matty Keane.
Well, I mean, look, I had Ray Oliver breathing down my leg last night, and I know what pressure's all about. But yeah, Dylan DeBono has shown supreme pace, and we know that Dylan is one of those guys. If he sees a gap, he'll go for it. No doubt at all. So Matty Keane's got to either really go defensive early, like he did there, or just let Dylan through and come in on his coattails and try and stick with him. But I think Matty's a racer. See, then again, Matty covering the inside line.
Yeah. He made a little shimmy, didn't he? He just made Dylan think about it.
He looked straight on the inside again. Dylan setting him up here. I think they're going too wide around. That's a nice tight line from Dylan DeBono, so he's left plenty of space there. And he's got the job done. So Matty Keane did fight that pretty hard there, but Dylan just showing his true pace in these cars.
Yeah, Dylan DeBono, I mean, he's quick in these TCRs, there's no doubt about it. And it's a shame that he's had those couple of little incidences throughout the season so far that's just kind of put him back in the back of the championship.
It gets back to what I was talking about though, Rob. You know, to be fast, you've almost got to ascend it a bit. And who's that?
That's Max.
Fritzy had a little bit of a moment there. Max Donnelly trying to go around the outside of contact. That might be interesting. We'll see if he jumps on the radio. That might be a redress, because look at who took advantage of that as well.
Daniel Fritz.
So that Fritzy got in there and decided to take advantage. So
looks like Max just had a blink then too. It's bizarre. We don't normally see Max blinking much either, so it might be a bit of an issue there tonight with the connection. They seem to be.
Was that Matty Gerard looking to try and put some pressure on Leakey? He's gone up the inside down into T1, so he holds that line. He's going to get this done. Yeah, nice move by Matty Gerard on Greg Leake, so that's a good move and one of the classic moves around here. It is one of the things about this place, Brands Hatch. It's a really good track for racing. He's run wild.
Matty,
same from Leakey. And that has going to give Tyson Styles a look up the inside of Leakey. Oh no, something's happened to Dylan DeBono.
He's not again.
Tumbling down the boards. Is that a connection issue?
I think it is.
I think it is. Oh no, Dylan.
Dylan DeBono gone down the order again. That looks like that.
That is. It's just that internet connection, and sometimes it just plays, you know, with demons on us, and we can't do anything about it.
He's back on the screen. So Dylan DeBono's still in P2. So
he's revved it, so wow.
we see him right now on the back of Gowans.
Okay, race control has just told him that he's going to need to pit to sort it out, because his ping's all over the place. Unfortunately, I think that's happened to him a couple of times now. And I mean, look, iRacing does a really good job of dealing with netcode, I think. You know, I mean, the fact that we can be racing in all different parts of the world on a variety of internet connections, and to be able to race within, you know, millimeters of each other, you know, live on a simulator.
Donnelly looked like the inside. Greg Leake just shut that door right in his nose.
Yeah, that would have been a very picky nose there. It looks like Dylan DeBono has dropped out now, so unfortunate for Dylan. We know his pace, and he's providing some great action for us as well. You're right, Contagious. The only thing that can beat him this week, at least, is his internet. So it's a bit rough. We certainly do. Look, we can have a little bit of a joke, because it's happened to all of us, but it's not really pleasant when it happens to you. You know, I've had some USB disconnects the last couple of weeks from my gauges that happened in the middle of a race and cost me 20-30 seconds. So it hurts, but I suppose it's the virtual version of technical gremlins in your car, I suppose, you know, where the $2 part breaks on the car, and you know, you get black flag for trying to use a squeegee because your windscreen's fogging up.
I mean, like the one thing that comes to mind when we say about engine, like things like that. I mean, it's the old SVG at Bathurst, isn't it? Back when he was in the VIP Pet Foods car, the starter motor just wouldn't re-engage. You know, it hurts, it sucks, and it just at the end of the day, you don't want to see it.
Glenn Seaton's car dying on him, you know, when he had half a lap lead and, you know, had been trying for so long to win that, and it was pretty much taken away from him. I mean, I think I heard that Glenn cried like a baby, you know, that hurt. You know,
I mean, you never want to
crazy.
see it. I mean, you never want to see competitors drop out like that, you know, because, you know, we know Dylan's fast. He's a good driver. You know, he pushes hard. He loves what he does, and it's just taken out by something completely out of his control, and it's, you know, it just sucks. It's just tough.
It does, man.
I feel for Dylan. I really do.
Oh, but I mean, look, you know, again, we say that the fact that we're here racing in different parts of the world, different parts of the country, you know, I mean, I did the European split with a 12-hour last weekend, and, you know, we were able to race with guys in, you know, France and Belgium and stuff like that, you know, and to be able to do that on track at the same time, yeah, we do have net code and it happens, but it's pretty good, really, when you think about it. Because, you know, there's just a variety of tech involved in the whole thing. To be able to race within a foot of another car, yeah.
Oh,
Here we go. Look at that.
Oh.
Nice style. Matty Gerard just, I think Matty got checked up a little bit there, maybe by Mark.
Yeah, I think Mark Cochran might have
got caught on the outside,
shut
and
the door.
well, Tyson Styles just took advantage of it. Nice placement, and again, you know, that's a racer's move. If you're behind and you see a couple of guys battling up ahead, then you effectively maybe brake a little bit early, time it so that you can accelerate on the exit or even through the apex. And if those guys, you know, have a bit of contact or compromise each other's exit, then suddenly there might be a 2-for-1 burger deal on there for you. All right, so here, what are we having a look at? Is this
just that pass there
this is
on
the
Matty
move,
Gerard, so you can just see there Mark Cochran just shut the door.
Okay.
Tyson just got that nice little running. I mean, he was kind of on that line anyway, and Matty Gerard just left out high and dry, so nice.
That was all Mark's fault, shutting the door on him there.
he jammed it shut. But I mean, that's what you got to do. You've got to run your thing. And like these guys are all separated by like less than half a tenth. So Mark Cochran, Tyson Styles, Matty Gerard here. No matter where we look, there's a car right around this car. So these boys are close on times.
How much cut there is
there.
there.
Mickey Locke has just crashed.
Oh, something happened to Michael.
I think he's already a lap down.
Was there contact, again. Was it? We might have to try and have a look if we can. Again, all of this is thanks to our series sponsor, Warren and Brown Tools. Awesome to have them on board. And have you got that incident at Mike's? Or?
Yep, I'm just pulling it up now.
Let's have a look and see what happened to him. So it is a safety car being called, so I don't think this is going to look too good from Michael's perspective. So is this Tyson making a move here?
Sure.
Oh, that's
whether
that.
he's just maybe.
We're not looking at Michael at the moment, are we?
It's supposed to be.
Oh, there we.
Oh, there he is there. Thank you. Thank you,
maybe
SDK.
wind that. Yeah, something's going on. We didn't see he was on
just coming on here. Oh, he's rotated on the way in.
Lost the rear, yeah.
And is he going to punch that inside wall, or is he just going to? No, just a nice little pirouette.
Oh, there's another car coming. So what caused that safety car then?
I'm aware. There's nothing unless there's something further on. Mickey Locke had
something
another
happened to Tyler Sheep because he's back down a bit. There we go.
There's nothing really there. No, SDK's picked nothing up.
He's got going. So it wasn't that there was any contact or anything. Maybe the car just was broken enough that
and he's driven into the wall
anyway.
Oh,
he's turning. Is he?
Oh, that front left doesn't look very
like it's crabbing a fair bit, maybe.
It does, yeah. It looks like he's done a bit of front end damage there, but car number 8.
Right, so it was car 08,
Number 8.
Tyler Sheep, that was the car that had the tow. So we maybe need to be looking at Tyler Sheep and see what happened to him.
That
Because I
doesn't-
did notice that Tyrone Walsh, Stephanie Piccoli had passed him. So here,
We'll
okay,
jump on
so
board with Sheepy here and see what's gone on.
so is that's the blind corner,
Oh.
and has he
No,
been tagged?
I don't think he has.
Yeah, he's been tagged there.
Oh no, and he's just
And that's heavy.
that's heavy.
That was
contact
one
in
of the
wall.
Whitey Pies entries too. What number is that? Couldn't see what number that was.
We can rewind that and
Oh,
really sure that's big impact there. So what we'll do?
97.
The 97. Yeah, looked like that was.
97's Jake Edwards, so that's he was running P4 at the time, so that could spell a bit of doom for Jake.
That
To see what race control's got to say, but that one.
Yeah,
But at
that's
the moment,
rough.
Doug Gowans has come in and pitted Matty Keane. Both of those guys pitted on lap 14, so maybe now they're thinking that the guys that pitted early on lap 5, they did the right thing because this extra safety car has now maybe brought it into that's all you need to get home. We are up 24 minutes into this race now, aren't we?
Whoa.
So we've only
The
got
safety
21
car
minutes
just
to go.
So we lost Dylan to Bono from a blink, and the safety car just blinked in and out then too.
But I'm more thinking about the strategy here, and I think that the pit stops are all done now. There was only maybe without the safety cars, you might have needed an extra splash. That's why you run longer. Or were these guys thinking there's going to be another safety car anyway, so let's go a bit longer and take some track position. But as it stands now, the guys that pitted early, Tyson Stiles, Matty Gerard, Daniel Fritz, Jake Edwards, all of them are running top 4 at the moment. Doug Gowans, Matty Keane, Max Donnelly, they just pitted now. They're running in the next lot. Mark Cock and Greg Leake, yes, all those guys have pitted on lap 14. Or 13, I would say. Across the
Dougie
line,
Gowans
pit
only took
line.
9 seconds. So he didn't... They're not big stops. So I don't know. I think you're going to be... I don't know.
Oh, you would think that
Rough.
if you had to take longer to put fuel on, you would do it now. I think it's a 40% limit, so I think this is going to be a race to get home. It was a one-stopper that you had to do, you know, to put on about, 5 to 10 litres. So you had to do it at some point. Maybe some of the guys went for track position thinking that there'd be another safety car, and that's worked for them, and they're back up front now. Could make for a nice exciting finish for us though, buddy, and that's all that matters.
Oh, exactly right, mate. Us in the race. I get to see a cracking race with the guys that are fast like Dougie Gowans and Matty Keane and those guys trying to just press on through here, and then you got some of the guys who are going to be a little bit lighter too on fuel because those guys pitted 10 laps ago, so they're going to have less fuel. So safety
Safety car doing another lap apparently, so
Ooh.
Alright, so there's someone asking a little bit of question there about the safety car and how they should stay back. I don't know if that was a question or it was an accusation, but we'll leave it nice and ambiguous there, Rob. But it is going to be a great, interesting finish. The field's bunched up once again. Tyres with a chance to cool down, so that will sort of even out the field. I don't think anyone really took a big, long stop there, so I don't think anyone's taken tyres. And if you look at the guys that came in last, they've spent a bit longer in the pit lane than the ones before. So, I think there's enough spice left in this, buddy, to keep our taste buds right on the tip.
Oh, for sure. And look, this is just going to set the trend for F3s tonight. This is going to be crazy as we get the excitement late in this one. With what do we got? 17 minutes left of this, and
yeah,
this
will probably be another 3-minute lap, so we're going to end up with about a 15-minute
sprint race
burst
pretty much.
towards the finish. So that's right, it basically becomes a sprint race. Looks like Tyler Sheep has retired from the race, so unfortunately he didn't have a fast repair left. Maybe he had a bit of contact early on when he pitted, and something can happen. You have a little bit of contact early on, but it's not going to hurt the car. So you've got to remember to turn your fast repair off.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
I'd say
one
Tyler
of the things.
hasn't done that,
Yeah.
and now he's hurt the car big time, and he has got a fast repair left. So
And so for all our viewers watching who may not understand what we're talking about with the fast repair, in our races we have one fast repair where the drivers, if they do take damage, they can drive into the pit lane and it's an instant repair. Sometimes us drivers, in our wisdom, forget to turn that off, and we drive in with a little bit of wing damage or something like that. It doesn't really affect us too
just
much,
a scrape
and
on
it
the side
just
of the car,
and it just repairs it and takes it off us. So when we do get something like a wheel hanging out of the car, we're like, uh-oh, we messed that one up.
yeah, well, I had that decision to make that decision last night. I was buffeted around a bit earlier in the battle at the front, and I did get clipped in the rear, but I could see in my mirror I still had my wing. So I actually pitted twice, and I thought, do I want to, am I losing any speed? And I didn't think it was costing me anything, so I kept that damage. And finally, I think I used a fast repair on the last pit stop. It was good coming home, but chewed up the tyres. But I've seen it in the SR8s a couple of seasons ago, where we're driving along and car feels good and all that, and then you get into talk with the commentators and they say, so did you know your wing was broken? No. No, I didn't.
No, was it really? No,
Yeah.
I actually ran quicker laps with a broken wing. Maybe I just need
That's
to
right,
do it every
broken the whole
week.
race.
So it's good
right.
fun, but here we go as we get set now to get this restart underway. Although Tyson Styles is on the front here, so the field
And
is
Ross
his.
Control has handed over control. Is he going to go straight away? He's gone. He's gone already.
No, he's
Oh,
holding.
no, he hasn't. He's holding him. Holding him.
Oh,
this is
he's going to make
interesting.
it late.
This is interesting.
Easy waiting for Barney to wave the green flag.
Wow, is that
Oh,
Tyson
no
trying
overlap,
to
no
give?
overlap.
Oh, and
Oh,
look.
it's...
Whoa.
I think...
Did you notice Jake take off then?
Yeah.
So they were in voice chat, and Tyson was letting you know exactly when he was going. So
Yeah,
it
100%.
didn't work out. I think Daniel Fritz actually did a good job to covering him there. And Matty Keane, is that Doug Gowan's coming up the inside of Matty Keane? A little bit of contact there, but looks like Matty's trying to retain
that's
the
Matty
inside
Keane,
line.
and right behind
That's going to
him,
have
Max.
to yield. You get run wide there. No, look at that. Fair driving. And Max Donnelly, he's trying to get in on this action. A little bit of contact, but this is what you want to do. You see a couple of guys battling. Well, it's time for you to try and see if you can steal away the cookie jar while they fight over it. There it is. We've called it, buddy. Jake Edwards just
97,
received.
Jake Edwards.
That's Jake Edwards. Yeah, I thought that was coming.
Unlucky.
It's going to hurt, Jake, but
This late in the race. Oh, look at the battle. Poor Max is sitting here just going, boys, easy. I'm right behind you. Don't do this.
again, this corner here, you don't want to be going too wide into this unless you're on the inside. So let's see how Max, if he can take that quick slingshot. Oh, he's had to wait. That's that line that if you don't get it quite right, you've got to wait to get on the gas. Whereas if you nail it, you can just carry that speed through there.
But he's got the
Yeah, it was
advantage of the
unlucky,
draft there, Kelly.
Sheepy. Short race for you, buddy. But hopefully we'll see you next week, and it's good to see you got chance and pace tonight, buddy, and right in the
There's
mix.
Jake Edwards just taking off into the pit lane there, so... Unfortunate for
offside
Jake,
on
that's
that
going to
penalty.
slide him right down the water. He's going to be back down near Michael Locke. I feel he'll be very close to that sort of 14th position. So he's in 13th right now, and he is back out,
And
so he's in behind everyone.
Yeah, and not a lot of time left to do something about it too. You know, we've only got about 13 minutes of this motor race left. And it is Tyson Styles from Whitey Pies who's running away out front at the moment. He's got a 0.6 gap over Matty Gerard, one of the SLM runners. Oh, sorry, I apologise. Matty Gerard is a Velocity Sim Labs runner. Daniel Fritz running P3, so he's having a great run as well. And Doug Gowan, well, he's got himself up to P4 now. So he's making his way through the field.
Jumping aboard
And Mark Cochrane
right
is
on the back of Max Donnelly. He's giving him a bit of a hurry up.
Yeah, he's up a couple of positions behind him. We got Leakey up 11 positions at the moment. I know he was running 15 up at one stage, but the pit cycle has put him a little bit back.
How's the attitude on the cars when they hit that curb there, Cowy? He's just...
That's how you got to hit it, man.
It's
You're
rough, isn't it?
turning in, and you don't know where it is. I mean, sometimes...
Mark,
like,
run.
Oh,
Mark, because you're right there. Look at the pack in front of this one. There's 3 cars.
here he is. He got enough of a gap here. You can see that Max immediately went down the inside there to cover. And looking for the switchback. Can Mark get it done? I thought he might have broke a bit deeper there, but he thought better of it. And now he's going to try and get a run down here into turn 2.
Oh, who's that?
Send
Is
it.
that Keefe? That's
He thought
Keefe.
about it.
It's block past
It's a
him.
battle.
He has block
It's a
past
great-
him.
There's a great battle up in front. Matty Keane, Fritzy's all on the back of Matty Keane now, and Matty Gerard be thankful of that because that's giving him a chance to drop clear. But this is TCR racing, and this is what happens when you get cars together in a clump. They all sort of slow each other up, and the clump just gets bigger and bigger. And the guy out in front goes, "Thank you. You boys keep fighting. I'll run away with this one."
Exactly right. You see, this is what we saw kind of like last night. You start battling and you start losing a bit of time because you're watching your rear view, you're not watching where your competitors in front of you are going, and then all of a sudden you look up and they're a second and a half up the road, and you're like, oh crap, I've got to get back on the back. You start pushing. What happens when you push? You make a mistake. And you lose 5
Or
or
you
6
hurt
spots.
the tyres trying to defend as well. When you try to do a little bit too much and run that wide angle, carry a bit more speed, it's easy to chew your tyres up when you do that.
That's exactly right. This pack is angry, isn't it? This is angry pack right here.
It's looking good there. And you see Leakey's just making it onto the back of this battle too now. So it's, as I said to you, it was 3 cars before. It's now 5, though it does look like Doug's managed to get through and is starting to stretch out a little bit here. But Green comes onto the back of it. So as one car clears it, another comes onto the back.
Daniel Fritz with a big opposite lock, like trying to catch a slide there coming through turn 1. So
did well to actually not run wide then.
that probably would have slowed him up for Max Donnelly to start getting a bit of a sniff here and wanting to.
Max is right on his tail now. So
Right
Max
there.
looking to try to go up the inside. I saw it flash in the mirror there.
Max Donnelly just cruise on out the back because we get a nice look at the restructure of the car there. Max has got one heck of a run there, that's for sure.
There's not much of a space there for the mirror, almost a little bit like the Lamborghini with that tiny little mirror, the Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah.
It's got a little, sort of, it looks like the window, the rear window is the size of a mirror.
Max just got a
right.
massive run through there, man. He just got a real big boost and then had to get on the brakes or lift heavily because he was going to run right up the back there of Daniel Fritz. So
Well, that's it. That's the advantage of being in front. You can do that little bit of sort of block. It's not so much block driving, but you brake a bit earlier and make sure you get in the apex so you can accelerate through the apex. So the guy behind you is either going to try and make a dive or he's going to brake earlier again. But the idea is if he was trying to set you up for to get you on the exit for the next corner, you're maximising your exit to stop that. But you can only really get away with that at those corners where you get in front and really block the inside line.
no, exactly right. We can see now W Gowans there, just 3 seconds adrift from Matty Gerard, and again Tyson Souls a further 1.2 up the road from that. So as we started coming in the last
gone.
8 minutes.
Well, with Dylan DeBoto gone, mate, he's the only car into the 32s. Matty Gerard just did he started 32.93 as well. So these guys running pretty hot, and Matty Gerard is 2.5 seconds ahead of Doug. So Doug's running out of time to make it any further than P3 on the ladder, buddy. We're inside 7.5 minutes to go. It's this battle here, P1 and P2, Matty Gerard chasing down the Whitey Pies machine of Tyson Styles, who will be hanging onto this for grim life. Even grim death, I reckon, as well.
he'll be having those legs crossed, the arms crossed, fingers crossed, he'll have everything crossed in that car that he doesn't make a mistake right now. But you see Matty Gerard with a mega run. He's brought that down to 0.3 seconds. He's made up 1 point. Oh, he's got right there. So, well, maybe Tyson just had a bit of a lift somewhere. Because that's a big gap.
You get one of those corners wrongs and you've got to wait a little bit to let the car settle, and that could easily cost you that.
Oh, look at his shake. Oh, he's loose there, isn't he? Like that front end just didn't want to pick up in that turn 1 area. You see Matty Gerard.
He's going to have a look, and Tyson's covered that.
He was watching the review a lot there. There's no way that was a guesswork. That was a well-executed move there by Tyson Styles, just putting the block on.
Oh, that's it. They are going to fight tooth and nail. Both Tyson Styles and Matty Gerard yet to pick up a win in this season. So the W is all they're thinking about, and I'm sure it's Matty looking straight ahead, and Tyson has got probably 1.5 eyes in the mirror at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got eyes up in that rear view. He's watching where Matty Gerard trying to place the car. And he's just trying to get the opposite effect. So he's trying to make sure he doesn't give up that spot easily, but he doesn't want to be pressing too hard and grab a bit of grass or...
Well, I reckon we might see a few liberties from these boys in the last few laps of this motor race where they're prepared to cut the corner and get the off track. You've got to be it's got to be a pretty severe cut. And by that I mean, almost sort of not getting any tyres on the curbing or all across the grass before you actually get a slowdown around here. So if you've managed to bank up a few 1Xs in your favour, or kept them down through the race, then maybe this is the time where you can start to unleash and maybe run a little while. Oh, look at that big dive! He's had to come out of it.
Showcased it, didn't he? That was a big send. But I think what we're seeing here too, Cowy, is that we're seeing Matty Gerard. He's a little bit quicker in some spots, and Tyson Styles a little bit quicker in other spots. So it kind of blends out the lap a little bit. He gets on the back, and Tyson just gets away. He gets on the back, Tyson gets away. So it's waiting for unforced error.
I think they're both in the Velocitas, so it's the same car. Perhaps a little bit of difference in setups. But you also, you see that concertina effect as well, where you'll see cars sort of bunching under brake and separate again under acceleration. Here we've got another nice battle going on back here. So this is Mark Cochran chasing down Max Donnelly and Daniel Fritz, and Matty Keane. He looks like he's stretched about 1.5 seconds or so ahead of this group. But Leakey about 1 second behind. So this battle's still not completely resolved yet, buddy.
No, not at all. Not by any stretch of imagination. And being this close, you can't see your apexes. You're missing braking markers. You're trying to pull out. You're trying to get a different line. You're trying to do something different. And this is where mistakes will happen. The grass will bite. And we'll just end in tears. We saw it last night. We'll see it pretty much every time we race at Brands Hatch. It'll just... something will happen and it will just not engine out very well.
It's one of the things that makes it such a great place to race at, though. I mean, this really gives me sort of a Watkins Glen type of feel as well, with those sweeping sort of fast sections that Watkins Glen has. And, Brands Hatch has got that in spades. And, a couple of big heavy braking areas. But I also like the fact there's a few zones where you can, at least in the supercar, you can really get on the gas as the rear of the car compresses. I'm sure how that would feel in the TCRs, but I know that these things, it's all about sort of getting it turned in is the effort. So if you can get the car turned in and drive out, look at that nice move there.
Yes,
that Tyrone Walsh.
David Leslie just up the inside of Tyrone Walsh there.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that heavy braking zone and stuff. That under the tree there, definitely one of the passing opportunities. You just got to set it up through turn 1.
So we see a wide line here taken from Tyrone. So he's trying to get that speed advantage. And that's two different techniques we're talking about again.
Yep.
And Greg Johnson, now these guys are battling. Let's have a look. It's going to be a three-way battle very soon. We are inside the last 3 minutes of this motor race. So maybe another 2 laps to go. but the battle is on at the moment. It is Tyson Styles for Whitey Pies has a 0.9 of a second lead over Matty Gerard. Doug Gowans is a further 1 second back, so this is bunching up here. Has Matty got enough tyres left to get this done? Tyson's driven a nice steady race so far. Has he looked after his tyres? At the moment it looks like he has.
Remember, these boys pitted on lap 4 as well, so they're a lot lighter on the field too than what Dougie Gowans is sitting in there in P3 because he pitted a lot later.
Yeah, and if Dougie might have put in a little bit too much, though, then again, the other side of that equation is you've had the second safety car, you've got a much better idea of how much fuel to put in as you get near the end of the race. And you can see that the gap here has only come in by about a tenth each way, so it's now 0.8 from Tyson back to Matty Gerard, and it's 0.8 from Matty back to Doug Gowans. And look at this, Daniel Fritz getting a run on Max Donnelly.
Max has got him, but he's going to fight back. Daniel Fritz is going to fight back.
So Max has got him under the big left-hander there, but maybe compromise running a bit
Max
wide.
Is staying there. Oh, he stayed there and he's centred as well. Good job.
Oh, looks like something's happened up at the lead, Matty. Oh, Matty Gerard, something's happened to him, buddy. He's fallen back and Doug's got him. So, I think if Doug's made a move or Matty's made a mistake.
No, he went off track. We won't catch that right now. We're just going to run this through. But yeah, he did go off track.
Yeah, well, this is the final. We got one more lap to go, have we? Oh, he's run wide. Got a bit of a shimmy.
I wonder if that's.
Let's keep an eye on Barney. Has he got the white flag out?
That is the white flag.
That is white flag from Barney. So one more lap to go. It is a 1.9 second lead. Tyson Styles now has. Can Doug chase him down? It's Max Donnelly back in front of Daniel Fritz again, so that battle is still on behind us, buddy.
Battles all over the place.
Oh no, Fritzy's made a mistake by the looks of it.
Max Donnelly went off track as well.
Oh, I think Fritzy and Max have had a bit of a get-together there because they're both tumbling down the order. Oh, might be a bit to unpack at the end of this race, buddy.
I think so, mate. It's we just said it though. They're going to be pushing hard to make that spot. Mistakes are going to happen, and that's what it's done. Max Donnelly jumped the pit lane, so
if you're going to have a go, mate, you have a go on the last lap. So I mean, maybe it cost you, but I think sometimes it's risk versus reward. You've got to play it smart. Other times you've got to throw hell to the wind, I suppose, or. But if you do make the mistake, that's when race control is going to come down on you. All right, so Tyson with a healthy lead now, 2 seconds. He's only got about 3 corners left to do. So Doug Gowans, 2 seconds back behind him. Matty Gerard, a further second back. But it does one more corner to go for Tyson Styles, and it will be the Whitey Pies machine that comes across the line to take out round 5 of our TCR battle for the Ashes.
Oh, look at P2 and 3.
Oh, it's close.
Gowans and Matty Gerard. Oh, good racing.
Teammates,
good racing.
so
Matty Keefe Keen in there in P4.
Yeah, great drive from Matty into P4. Max Donnelly into P5.
No,
it's Fritzy.
Mark Cochran P5.
It is too, apologies.
Max Donnelly sitting there in the pit lane just behind Barney there, so yeah, that's been interesting. So Jake Edwards P6, Greg Leake P7.
So did that mean maybe Max and Daniel, that contact was something to kill Max's car? Can we have a look at that incident, buddy?
We'll flick
see what's happened. We'll go through the grid soon enough, but let's see if we can see. So you'll have to fire that back. Roll that back a bit, buddy, but I would not be surprised that there's been contact there. Yeah, look at it.
Oh, bang.
Bang.
Oh, that wasn't just that little... Oh, look at the front end of that. Oh, Greg, was that Leaky going through that? Holy mollies. Oh, no. And Fritz just... yeah, I don't know.
That could be one of those, wasn't thinking about the braking marker and you miss it, where you're not thinking about it, you look up and go, hang on, was that my braking marker? And then you're like, uh-oh.
It's a bit late when the car in front of me stopped.
It's normally a bit late when you realise that your braking marker just flashed by you. That's when it's too late.
So there's the
All right,
results
well,
on
here
screen.
is the race results for round 5 of our TCR season here at Brands Hatch. It is Tyson Styles for Crisscross Racing. The Whitey Pies car coming away with the victory. Matty Gerard for Velocity Sim Labs P2 and Doug Gowan's P3. So was there a swap there? Doug had an incident? Or it was Matty that was... Matty made the mistake and I thought Doug got him, so maybe Matty got him back. But anyway, teammates have rounded out top positions 2 and 3 on the podium. Matty Keane for SLM Motorsport P4, Mark Cochran P5 for Apex Esports League. Jake Edwards, Chris Cross. That's a pretty good result after serving a penalty. He's brought it back to P6. Greg Leake, well, he's the big mover, up 12 positions, put it at P7. A great drive from Greggy. And we wish you the best, buddy. Tyrone Walsh in P8. David Leslie P9 now. Daniel Fritz P10, but that might be a bit further down the order. We'll have to see what race control has to say with the post-race investigations. Greg Leake in P11. Michael Locke in P12. Stephanie Bacoli P13. We didn't get to see much of you tonight, Stephanie, so we do apologise for that. But we know that you're enjoying your racing out here. Max Donnelly, well... that incident binned Max's car, so that's cost him a fair bit. And I know Max was running fairly decent in the championship at the moment, running P3, so that could be a costly incident. There was no fault of his own. Tyler Sheep, well, he finished P15 with that earlier damage, and poor old Dylan DeBono with his connection issues. Well, it was certainly an eventful race, buddy, and those safety cars kept it bunched up and gave us a bit of excitement, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, we've got the podium sitting in the room, so we might start getting the boys in and getting through some interviews here.
Sounds good. Well, let's bring in Doug Gowans, our P3 finisher tonight. Dougie, P3, buddy. She was a pretty chaotic race there.
Yeah.
Was the idea you needed to pit? Is there a reason you didn't pit in that first little window? Did you think there'd be another safety car?
Yeah. Well, obviously, the leader was Dylan. Jakey Edwards was in P2, and his pace was quite relative to ours. So the idea was that I would have done a bit of an overcut on him. He would have come back out in the field a little bit, got caught up trying to overtake cars, and I could extend my time, wait for the next safety car, and come out in front of him.
Okay, so all of that strategy counted on the fact that you thought there was going to be a second safety car.
Well, it is Brands Hatch with the TCR, so it was pretty well guaranteed.
Okay, so I know that we managed to do the V8s last night around here with not a single safety car. So the TCR, really? Is it just so much more difficult to get the car turned in? Is that where the problem is?
In some of the areas with the high-speed turns, yeah, the understeer is pretty incredible here, to be honest.
And we saw a couple of the guys, taking some fairly good liberties with track limits there. How was your X count there, Doug? We got a 0X tonight, or
I
maybe
did, mate,
not?
I did. No 0X.
Oh, 0X again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mate,
so
yes.
Maximising these points, and you're showing great pace, buddy. But
I don't know if Tyson had a 0X. I know Matty Gerard didn't, unfortunately. He drove a terrific race with his fuel saving. I mean, and to be fighting with, with P1 up the end of the race, that was great.
Was that okay? So was that you being kind to Matty and not attacking him? Because we saw a little moment there where we thought we saw your name go past him.
Oh, look, I was a second a lap faster than Tyson pretty well, so I had the speed there to catch up to him and attack him. So Matty was kind enough to let me get past, but of course the proviso was if I couldn't get to the back of Tyson and have a go at it, well then Matty gets the position back, of course.
Oh, well, good team tactics there. Well, buddy, we might, let's bring Matty into the room before we get you guys to talk about your sponsors. But Matty, the boss man here, telling us that he was nice and kind on you tonight, eh? He let you through. Sorry, you let him through and then he gave it back to you. Is he a nice boss, is he?
Oh, yeah, he's all.
I'm not who said I'm the boss? I'm not the boss. I'm just the driver.
You're leading the championship at the moment, so
that doesn't make me the boss.
Yeah. Oh, well. Hey, look, I think there was just that little bit of miscommunication between Doug and I with that pass. Probably should have done the pass with Doug a little bit closer to me, and then that just threw my racing out the window a little bit there. Made those silly little mistakes along the way.
So you had to do a bit of fuel saving there, pitting lap 5.
Yep.
So talk us through how you save fuel in this thing.
Yeah, so fortunately we've got the clutch in the Hyundai, unlike the old Audi from last season. So it was just every possibility I could. It was clutch in and just roll and coast and keep behind anyone if we can. Yeah, I mean the first probably half the race I kept on making mistakes and I was dropping back to 13th or 14th, so I had to build myself back up again. But yeah, whenever the safety car came out, it was get up with them and just clutch it. And it worked. Hey, I still had a couple of leaders at the end of the race. So,
well, it certainly worked for you, buddy, and you're bringing home P2. So P3 and P2, you guys are, I know it was a bit unfortunate what happened to Dylan tonight with his internet connection.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Dylan, all week while we were doing practice, he was half a second a lap faster than me, and he was flying. I mean, he was able to run into 131s, as you know. So for that to happen, I mean, big shame.
Yeah, look, that's horrible. I mean, we say that, iRacing generally does a decent job about netcode, but sometimes even it can't sort of solve it, and it's one of those things. Well, boys, it's great to have you both in the booth, P3 and P2, the Velocity Sim Lab machines. Who wants to let us know about your sponsors?
Oh, Matty can. He come P2. Well done. Well done to Tyson too. Good race, guys.
Yeah, well done, eh? All right, so our sponsors, Velocity Sim Lab, Original Digital Designs, JS Sim Shots, Here to Race YouTube channel, Speedhouse, all the boys in the team, and obviously Steve in the background for us, the main boss man, looking after us with our setups and things like that.
That's the only boss.
So I shouldn't tell Steve that Doug's maybe coming after his job, no?
Oh, come on, jeez. I'm going to retire next season.
Well done, boys. Well, Doug, I'm sure that tonight doesn't do any harm to your championship. You're doing it quite well, and we'll
Thank you.
have to see how you go for the rest of the season, boys. Well done.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, boys.
Awesome. All right, now I'm going to bring Tyson in, and I'm going to shut up, Rob, so you can ask Tyson some questions, seeing I completely shut you out then.
No, that's fine. Tyson, mate, P1 tonight. Take us through the race. What was it like out there?
Evening, lads. It was heart-stopping, sweat-inducing. It was good fun, though. I was not expecting that at all. I jumped in with 10 minutes left in the practice session for my first laps of the day, and somehow we've ended up here.
Yeah, right. So we saw you take the early pit stop. Was that strategy, or was that more just response to other drivers around you?
So it was strategy from myself and my teammate Jake. We had good track position, but we're not at the front where we want to be. So we decided to do opposite to the boys at the front because they had a little bit more pace, and it ended up paying off in the end.
Yeah, right. We heard a few of the, we're just talking to Matty Gerard and Doug Gowans here about fuel saving. Was that something you had to consider, or were you just flat out through the whole race?
Yes. So under the last safety car, I was a bit fuel saving. It was a bit nip and tuck. So there's a lot of clutch in and roll off the throttle early under the last safety car, but I managed to crew chief came in clutch and just got me enough over the line.
Very good, very good. So it's Brands Hatch. What's your thoughts on the track overall? What was your, thoughts on the race tonight? You enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. It's very good. It's finally good to put it all together. Like, I feel I've got the pace to run at the front in all these SRW leagues, like the top 3, top 5, and I've just never been able to put it together over a race night. And for the track, I generally love this track. Like, usually in a car with some sort of downforce, F3, F2, F1, this track is one of the best in the world. A bit tricky in a front-wheel drive car, if I do say so, but apparently I did enough and got the win.
Yeah, no, well, very good tonight. Obviously, got a few sponsors you need to shout out and give them some airtime, so take it away. Give them a plug.
Well, thank Jared and Aaron from Whitey's Pies for sponsoring the car. I thank Crisscross Racing and the team boss, Stefan McCartan, Palmerston Bakery, Ryco Performance, and I'll thank all the boys, Jared, Adam, Jake, Curtis, Stefan. You all know who you are, so thanks for cheering me on, lads, and we got that dub.
Well done tonight, mate. Good solid drive. Excellent effort. And on to next week. You keen for next week?
To be fair, I actually don't know where we're racing next week. Hold up, I'm looking at the calendar in 2 seconds.
Don't even know where we're racing. Come on.
No, mate, I show up and drive the car. Where are we at? Silverstone. Now we're talking. That's a much better track. So staying in the UK, that should be good fun. Silverstone always throws up good racing.
Exactly. All right, mate.
Well
We'll
done,
throw
buddy.
you out of there.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you, lads. It was a pleasure.
No dramas.
Sorry,
Well done
Robert,
tonight, mate.
talked over the
No,
top of you.
you're
I
good,
said to
mate.
myself
No,
I was going to shut up, mate. But
you're good.
well, we'll let Tyson go. And guys, we just remember that it is not over tonight's show. This is our Wednesday night double header. We've just had TCRs around Brands Hatch. Coming up, F3s around Road America. Another driver favourite. So make sure, go and get yourself a drink. Quick breather. We will be back soon with our F3s round 5 at Road America. Welcome back, sim racing fans, to SRW TV. The TCR's Brands Hatch are done and dusted. It's now the F3s around Road America. This is going to be an awesome race. It's a track that is another driver favourite. It's one of those tracks where we're going to see the draft come into play multiple times during these laps. And of course, it's all thanks to Warren and Brown Tools, our round sponsor. Once again, I've got the sainted man, Rob Hayter, sitting next to me, running the cameras as well as talking the bollocks that we're getting away with here, buddy. But F3s, there have been some exciting racing this season. So it's just going to be even better tonight, buddy. Sprint round?
100% sprint round, yeah. So we've got a 20-minute heat race, first one, then a 40-minute reverse top 10. And I mean, following on from Bathurst last week, you come to Road America, this is going to be exciting.
Well, I keep thinking that maybe there's something, people keep thinking this Wednesday night race is pretty popular, because I think there's it every week this week so far, every week this round this season I should say, there's been 3 races, so it's either been TCR sprints or F3 sprints.
Yeah,
so I'm calling 3 races, mate.
We're getting the 3 races, so it's fantastic. And look, these reverse top 10s, they're amazing. You see the guys that generally get in that front sort of 5 or 6, switch to the back of the grid, and then they've got to come through. And you see the guys who don't generally get up the front and get a chance to maybe shine a little bit and get off the front. And we're just riding on board now with Adrian Loretti. You guys on the stream may notice that his livery is live. We have sorted that out after a couple of weeks.
Oh, not after having a little panic about 5-10 minutes ago when it didn't want to load.
I was sweating bullets. I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely sweating because we didn't see it. But no, it is there now. And Adrian, we appreciate you just hanging out with us, mate, letting us get on top of that. So if you are watching the replay later on, we do appreciate you, my dude. Thank you so much. And so again,
awesome.
The race teams out there that are watching and wondering where it is, we do have it on now. So
it's too early in quality just to notice Daniel Byrne up front here giving him a tow, but there's 3 kittens all running in a row here, so there might be a bit of tow shenanigans going on here for these qualifyings. And I know that the kittens boys, they haven't had things their own way this season, Rob. They've had the Alpha Venturi boys fighting, and then we've got the Downforce Racing boys of Phil Vella, and who's Phil's partner? I'm trying to remember. Is he here tonight? Jay Dixon, there he is. He's here tonight. So, but those 2 boys have come along, and so far, Phil's won almost every single race he's been in. I think it was only one of the heat races he didn't get on the front of. I think he's 4 out of 5 races so far this season. So he's certainly come in and made his stamp on the championship. But the Kittens boys, I know that they got quite a bit of pride, and they're pushing hard to try and get up there. I know a couple of weeks ago, a few of the other Kittens boys upgraded their pedals and that. So I believe they told me it's only Darren that's the only dinosaur remaining, I think, on the old gear. But yeah, look, it's close. The Alpha boys have been pushing hard, and they've been putting some good results on the table. So, but I mean, really, it's been the Phil Vella show so far this season.
Yeah, exactly. And look, this has been a good season. We've seen, like you say, we talk about the teams, and we seem to talk about them every week, but you just can't go past it. You've got the team battles that, the Alpha Venturis, you've got the Downforce Racing, you've got Kittens, they're always there. They're close, they're fast, and it just comes down to who makes less mistakes.
Might also be the fact that we've got, I think, 3 or 4 teams here that have got 5 or 6 cars entered. So you've got, I think was it 4 or 5 kittens? It might be 6 kittens if they're all here. I think the JWM Motorsports guys, there's 4 of them. There's 6 kittens, 4 of them. There's I think there's 4 or 5 Alpha Venturis as well. So one of the things that has gone great for the season is that these boys have come couple of them have come in, done a run, and then really enjoyed it. So they brought all their mates and their teammates in. So we're getting these 20 plus grids every week at the F3s, and it's great to see.
Yeah, 100% Cowy. It's absolutely phenomenal to see. And, you know, as we've been saying the last couple of weeks, our favourite driver who's got a stuffed candy lolly bag in his car with him, Matthew Pinata, going straight to the top in the first couple of laps there.
Wow.
57.8. But Phil Vella, we were just talking about him, 57.9. It's close already off the front, so nothing in it.
I think Matty was a bit gutted last week because he thought he had that first W for Sim Racing World, his first victory in the league, and Bill stole it away from him again. I wouldn't be surprised if Matty has been, to not take the analogy too far, but beating the hell out of this track this week. Where I reckon he might have done 1,000 laps around here. We're going to have to see. But so far, he's got a 10th on Phil, but it still is early in the quality. Or about 6 minutes in, so maybe these are the laps we start to pay attention to, buddy, because this is lap 2 and laps 3 and 4 on the tyres. So they should be up to 10.
Yeah, the tyres will definitely be getting right up to their optimum operating temperatures now. And we see a few of the boys. We're just riding here with Matty Gerard, so we just saw him in the TCR. And we're also riding on board just before with Dougie Grandpa Gowans. Again, you guys would have seen him in the TCR race. So it's good to see these guys piggybacking straight away and get into something that's probably a little more to their liking, fast with a lot of aero. And this will definitely suit these guys a lot around here today.
It's been quite a popular race, the F3s. They're a different breed of car to drive. I think the closest that I've driven would be the Radical SR8 is very similar, and they're actually similar paced cars, but you know, we've talked about it before that in these high aero cars, it's all about trusting the aero and trusting that you've got the grip, and when you push it and you send it a little bit harder and you turn in, the grip's there.
Oh no, Cowy looks at the top of the tree. Phil Vella's just come and pipped him. Matthew Pinata is not going to be liking that one little bit. He's going to definitely want that spot back, so we'll have to see if he can get on a lap out here and put something together. He does have a couple of green sectors. We might jump on board with him actually and see how he finishes this lap off, but yeah, that would be a bit of a kick in the backside for him. He'd be annoyed with that, I think.
Well, he's got a couple of chances tonight. This is our sprint round format tonight, so we will have a 20-minute race. The grid will be decided based on this qualifying, and then when we go into is it a 40 or a 30-minute, the second one?
40 minutes.
It's a 40-minute this time. Excellent. So that will be a reverse top 10. So as Rob said before, that really shuffles the boards up, and when you've got these guys that are, looking for every sort of tenth that they can find, when you suddenly end up behind a bunch of other cars, it's a different story. You get that aero wash, maybe something you're not used to.
Yeah, 100%. And these cars are definitely going to feel that. We see Adrian already just drop a nice purple sector there as well off to the finish, but the aero is going to play a massive amount of impact tonight. We've got 3 really good sections to the aero. So the first one we're going to see is definitely down here. This little stretch that we're riding on board with Adrian already on now, this will be a big aero advantage down into what I like to call the bowl. It's down the bottom of the hill. So you're braking downhill, you're trying to get the car stopped, and you're going to be in the draft. So it's going to be a big hot spot tonight for sure. And then, you get a bit of a draft around the back of the circuit. And, obviously the front stretch, between the last corner and turn 1 is just a long straight. So it's definitely going to have a big effect tonight on these cars. And yeah, if you're not ready and you just get sucked into that draft, it's gonna play havoc. It's as simple as that. You're going to take it off the front wheels. You're going to lose that.
It's going to be awesome, buddy. We're going to see. As long as they're not hitting the limiter, by the end of the back straight, the aero is really going to change things up. You're also going to see, Bravey, as the cars come through the carousel, you look at this next big right-hander that you watch here, and honestly, it goes through a flat stick.
He didn't.
No, there's a little lift there.
I don't think he lifted.
That's gonna be bravery, man. We're gonna see guys that'll push it
here's that
hard
draft.
there and maybe take that risk. So that's gonna make it spicy, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can see there his teammate getting out of the way, giving him the draft, getting out of the way, loosen him. Let's see if this is the time. Looks like he might need to.
This is where that second main part of the arrow is going to come right here as he comes off this corner. This long straight. It's so
big
long.
compromise and exits. That might cost him a bit of time. A couple of purples in there. Let's see if he's done enough to leapfrog up the order. What do we have?
He's scraping the P2.
157.7 into P2. It's looking pretty tight at the top there. Phil Bella with a 157.61. Adrian Loretti a 157.71. Matthew Pignata a 157.74. Michael Cartajar. So Michael Cartajar, one of the great drivers from our SR8 series, come over the F3s and he's found these likes of these cars. He's done a 157.83. So we're talking, what's that?
157.84.
Daniel Byrne, 157.84.
Darren Fahey
57.9. So there's two of them from Darren Fahey and David Gallo. Then a 57.92. Then let's go another 100th back to 57.93 to these guys aren't separated by a tenth. They're separated by hundredths.
Dougie
This is silly.
P10, 57.98. There's nothing in this. This is going to be some really close. Yeah, this is going to be some really close racing, Cowy. This track breeds that though. It gives you that reward. If you can stick it and you can get the lap under your belt, this will reward you for a good quality lap.
Thanks for the good day out there, Sam. Great to see you watching. Fritzy, so that's what happened. He had a throttle stick. So he apologises to Max for that. Hopes it never happens again. But yeah, throttle stick, and that's why he went up the rear of Max. Well, we did talk about technical issues occasionally making it into the virtual world. There's an actual physical technical issue that made it into the virtual world.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that I was watching another race with Brody Kosecki in it, and it was at Bathurst. He put his foot on
his brake pedal.
He broke his brake pedal, yeah, going into turn one and just
that might have been one of the 1000s, I think.
That's one of those, it's just one of those freak incidences, but you can compare it to the real world, stuck throttles, broken brake pedals, all that kind of stuff, it happens. And
I'm USB
sure
disconnects for the last couple of weeks, and that froze my computer. So these things do happen, and I know some have spent lots of money on gear, others don't spend quite as much, but in the end it comes down to knowing your own gear. I've seen guys that are still fast in the odd G25s and G27s because they just drive them all the time and you work it. But
yeah, exactly right. And I'm sure Max
it is what it is, Fritzy. Unlucky, buddy. But I don't think you need to apologise on the stream to Max. Probably want to send him a message, buddy. But
I'm sure Max will be a spirit about it, and he'll understand. He's definitely a good dude. He loves his racing, and he'll understand it. It happens to the best of us and to the worst of us as well. So I don't think he'll take.
So we got Braden Sagassa out there tonight. So it looks like Braden hasn't made it this week. I know he jumped in and had a race last week and put it on the podium. So I thought he might have come back. We did talk to him about it, but he wasn't sure. So if he could make it this week. So unfortunately, no Braden. But the times at the top, so they haven't changed much at the moment, buddy. So these guys have found the limit. It's now about trying to see if you can push it that one little bit too much. And the other thing, that's right, we've only got just over a minute to go. So the issue is, being a sprint round, as soon as the clock hits 15, that ends the session. So if you're not going to get across the line before then, there's not much point starting again. So at the moment, we've got Matty Gerard on the track. We've got a few guys still out there. So it looks like Thomas Sanderson will get this lap finished. And behind him is Michael Cartajar. He'll get that finished. I'd say Jay Dixon and Andrew Johnson are probably on to finish their laps as well. But if we go back to Danny Matisic and Dean Sinkovic, they might be struggling to get this lap finished. Only about 30 seconds remaining.
Danny
might just make it. It's going to be close.
Might squeeze it. Might jump on board with
He's in
Danny here and just
17th at
watch
the
him.
moment, Danny. He's struggled a little bit the last few rounds, so he'd be looking for a nice return.
no,
He's watched
he's-
wide, so that's going to be the end of his quality. I was about to say he hasn't had the advantage of the other kittens giving him a toe.
I don't think Matty Gerard's going to get this finished either. He's a long way from that finish line.
No, he's only got about 5 seconds left, so that's not going to happen.
I'm not
He's
sure
not going to finish.
Not sure anyone's going to.
So it looks like the grid is going to be set as it is, my friend. All right, before we look at the grid, we can quickly talk about the championship. It is Phil Vella that has a 55-point lead over Matthew Pignata. Michael Cartajar is a further 57 points back, and he's 12 points ahead of Ryan Houlihan, Scotty Barjan 3 points back. So there's a big gap between the first sort of three there. This deep into the season, look to see if anyone else can make a move. Well, the grid, there it is. Phil Vella, Matthew Pignata sharing the front row. Adrian Loretti with a great quality into P3. David Gallo, another one of his kittens teammates alongside him. Michael Cartajar, the privateer from the SR8s, is showing his pace in the F3s, putting it P5 on the grid. Daniel Byrne, another kitten in P6, followed by Darren Fahey. In P7, Jay Dixon for Downforce Racing in P8, Greg Bradley and Ryan Houlihan sharing row 5 of the grid. Doug Gowans for Velocity SimLab P11, that's a pretty good run after a good result in the TCRs. Scotty Barjan P12, great to see Scotty back again. Andrew Johnson and Adam Simpson sharing the 7th row. Michael Stevens, Thomas Sanderson, Danny Matisic and Matty Gerard, and I've got to talk to you, Danny, and see if I can get your name right, because I keep changing it every time, buddy. Matesic.
Yep.
There we go. Dean and Steven Sinkovich on the last row. Sorry, not the last row, because we've got Daniel Hunter and John McHenry at the back, and Greg Barber, Adam Hughes, our race controllers. So, here we go, getting ready for the first of our sprint round races tonight here at Road America. He's already had that discussion, Fritzy. That's great, buddy. So he handled it a lot better than other people might have. Well, that's good to say that you guys have kissed and made up.
That's exactly right. Max is pretty good like that.
Here we go. Here come the lights. This is round 4 of our F3 series here at SRW TV. It is on for young and old as our P1 and P2 in the championship battle. Off the start, looks like everyone got a pretty good start there. The Adrian Loretti
was just
pacing off the line. He's got in front of Matthew Pignata, and Phil Vella had to run a bit of cover there.
Oh, Michael Cartajar is getting
already showing some great pace.
Yeah.
There's also a couple other kittens made a move there at the background. Daniel Hunter up 5-6 positions off the grid at the back there. Who's that's gone speared off?
Danny
Oh no, that's Ryan Houlihan, I think.
Is it Ryan
so
Houlihan?
I think that might have been contact or a bit of grass.
I think
Could be
that
cold
might have
tyres, I
been
suppose,
Danny
as well. Oh, was that Danny as well, was it?
And Danny Matesic
Oh,
has dropped
lock
down
up
the order.
there. Who was that? A lock up from Darren Fahey there. And Michael Cartajar has...
who's that in the
Oh,
background?
we got more contact in the back there.
That's Andrew
Who was
Johnston
that?
involved in that one.
Oh.
We'll jump to some replays here in just a second. But
Oh,
wow,
we can't go. Look, it's
look,
still on
they're
here,
still
and that's
battling.
is that Greg Bradley trying to make a move on Darren Fahey back there. Michael Cartajar at the moment putting pressure on Jay Dixon. So it's on.
Oh, the boys
We've
are
had
scrapping
2 or
there.
3 bingles in the back, and the boys are still fighting up front. This is great stuff. A little wide there from Darren. Greg Bradley's going to be up the inside. It looks like he's got that job done. Remember, these guys are trying to push hard here on cold tyres, Rob. So, you know, we're seeing some brave moves.
Yeah, and we're seeing that draft already taking effect. So we're just getting in there. You know, teammates are drafting.
Well, Scotty Barger going around the outside here. He'll have the inside for the next corner, but we'll see if Darren can stay there. No, good move from Scotty Bargen. Moving up as well.
Oh, was that a nil nudge? I think that was a nudge. Oh, who was that?
And that's going to cost him horrendously here. About 4 or 5 cars going to pass him here if he's been a nudge there, because that's just compromised his exit. And everyone's swamping him up the inside here.
Looks like it might have been Dougie Gowans just giving a little bit of a Bit of a love tap there on the way through. Let's see if we can
Oh,
go
the boys
Gowans
are racing
there.
close. Look at this.
Look
There's
at
that Adam Simpson trying to defend
that's
it. Oh,
Dougie Gowans
Daniel.
gone. Oh.
Oh, he's been calling out
And he
straight on the radio, so he thinks that's a bump. Let's have a look at the rear of that diffuser. Oh, it doesn't look really dented, does it? Yeah.
Might have just been enough to
Okay,
unload.
but then again, I mean, it could be a net code, that wouldn't damage the car. But it looks like, yeah, no, that's unfortunate for Doug there. Michael Cuttajar in P7 as well. So Michael's been manhandled there. Is that Jay Dixon and David Gallo? Oh, look at Daniel Byrne, David Gallo. Those guys. Daniel Byrne's up too, so he's made some moves. Jay Dixon's up, so I think David and Daniel swap positions somewhere in that thing. But Daniel Hunter, he is running in P11 at the moment, up 10 positions. John McHenry running 15th, up 7. So some of these boys pushing, doing pretty good off the start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's early days. I mean, but it's only 20 minutes, so...
Have a look at the timing board, man.
It's
There's more
crazy.
orange and yellow than white.
I can't
So
keep
the
up.
battles are on.
It's all over the field, and this is what we see week in and week out. You get those packs that just form, and then they just work
Hey,
with each
Daniel,
other.
look at this. He's eyeing up past
got that
number
run
11.
through the
He can get
draft.
it done. He's probably not quite close enough.
I need to set him up for the run up into turn 1 here. This is what he needs to do. He needs to
Well,
just
it's
sit
all
here
about the
now,
final turn. Yeah, that's right.
get a good run out of the final turn, and set him up into turn 1. That's the plan right now. I would suggest for Daniel Hunter. Don't try and make a move here.
Oh,
Just set him up.
No, that was. Do you see what? I don't know if you're watching there, what Adam Simpson did, and he did what I was talking about before, where he sort of put the car in a position, slowed down a bit earlier, so he really made sure he got the exit. And behind him, Daniel had to brake a bit earlier himself. He couldn't carry the speed he wanted to through the corner because Adam held him up a little bit there. So that's a bit of that. Oh, and Adam's decided to go out and mow the grass a little, so that's going to put him right back, all that good work, and now he's right back in the firing line as Daniel Hunter and Ryan Houlihan with that spin early on. We didn't get to see what happened, and Ryan's recovering. So maybe now is the time to go back and have a look at what happened on that first lap, Rob.
Yeah, I think that was actually Danny Pezic that had that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Right, we'll switch back. We'll go and have a look at what happened here to Denny Matezic. It is...
I'm sure I saw a blue and white car shoot off, though. So Danny's one of the kittens, the pink kittens. I'm sure I saw a blue car shoot off. So Danny's been tapped there. And that's
that
that's
would have
him
been...
gone.
Is that...
Could
that's
have
one of the
possibly been
Sinkovic.
net
Oh, no!
code and-
Oh!
Well, he was holding his brakes, so he just couldn't do anything about it.
He couldn't
And
do anything.
unfortunately, who was that he cleaned up? Was that Stephen or
I think it
Dean?
was Steven Sinkovic, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
All right,
who
so
was that?
he,
That's Thomas Sanderson.
So Thomas Sanderson, that was the car. I did see a blue car shoot off, so let's have a look and see what happened to Thomas. And then we better get back to the live action because there's probably plenty happening while we're looking at this.
Oh,
so is that
there was a bump
okay.
on the car in front, and he just caught him at the
Yeah,
wrong
so
angle.
I think that was Adam Simpson got bumped, had to check it out, and I mean, there's not much you can do
Speaking
there,
of
but
Adam
that's really
Simpson, there he is right
unfortunate.
on camera, and Ryan Houlihan really put the pressure on because Ryan's gotten around Daniel Hunter here, so...
Well, I wonder if Adam
back around.
doesn't look like he's got any damage on that rear tyre where he got hit there. Can't see any damage on the rear diffuser.
See the
So he might have got away with that, but you can see here there's the power in the toe, and look at it. But that is going to mean that we will see this multiple times throughout this race where the guys are able to make moves. That someone's got a bit wide there. That's a kitten in the fence there. Who was that? Who is that? Is that Darren Fahey? I think it's Darren Fahey's gone into the fence back there. Oh
David
no!
Gallo? Jay Dixon?
It's a
There's
David
two.
Gallo.
It might be David Gallo, yeah, I think.
Oh, well, whoever the car that's in there was still in that wall. We've got David Gallo's gone off. Yeah.
I'll flick back to...
Let's try and have a look and see if it was David.
Looks like
So
it
he
is.
was that Michael Cuttajar in the
up
mix
inside
there. Jay Dixon has given him a
bang.
tap. Yep. And that's put them both off.
Unfortunately,
Alright, so
but
there it is there.
that's how it
Well,
rolls.
Race control, well, they've got to stop watching the action and start dealing with some reports that may be coming in. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that, Rob.
Absolutely. And Matthew Pignata, who was chasing down Adrian already. Phil Vella's getting a nice little gap there. He's 2 seconds away from Matthew Pignata here. So Matthew's definitely going to want to try and push this because, reverse top 10. Certainly wants that result.
Well, I think he just wants a W. He couldn't care less which one it comes in. He wants a W, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so the right one was a racing incident, so that's probably that one we looked at there with Thomas Sanderson and Adam Simpson, and I think that was one of the JWM machines up in front that got checked up. So the race controls said that one is all just, the cookie crumbles, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just...
Here we go. Okay, so the other incident... the incident between cars 5 and 0... Okay, looks like 5 and 7, and Darren Fahey may be getting he got a penalty, his contact with Greg Bradley. There was that other contact before that was redressed. So race control said that that one was going to be a redress, but there's no further action because it was already done. Don't forget, guys, if you are enjoying the show and this great action in the F3 series, give us a like. Hit that subscribe button, put your comments in the chat. We love to hear from you guys. Of course, all of this is only possible due to our major sponsor here for tonight's series, our round sponsor, Warren and Brown Tools. We've also got some other great sponsors on board. Fast Track Experience, we've got Racecraft, Simrigs.com, Grim Industries, Toyo Sim, Melville Equipment Corp, Dragon RC, and of course the promo department, our safety car sponsor. So, having a look at Dean Sinkovic at the moment, running up 4 spots at the moment in P15. Looks like Toddy and I always used to have a bet on which Sinkovic was going to get up in each week. And it looks like Stephen's already had to use up his fast repair, and he's a fair way back. So, look at this. Andrew Johnson trying to get a run, and that's some good... he could have made a move there, but I don't know if Danny went inside a little.
I think Andrew just got to the back of Danny just a little bit awkwardly there. He's got him in the wrong spot. They need to try and get themselves set up for these straights here. Onto one and then onto the back stretch. If they can get the run there, that's where they'll get the best opportunity to make the pass. And we see now Andrew Johnson is well in that drive.
Well, here we go. Coming up the inside of Danny. And he's going to get that done. Danny's just got to yield. I don't think there's any point trying to stay on the outside there.
We just see a little bit of dust flying in the front.
Yeah, he's got to yield because then you can get it back down here and look at... See, Danny just broke a little bit earlier there to really try and set up this run. Oh, and he's gone on the grass. And you can see what he was trying to do. And obviously just couldn't get the car turned quite enough. But that's what you're talking about, buddy. He's got to set up the run. You can't say Danny didn't have a go at it.
No,
he certainly did.
I've seen it here now with Andrew. He's going to set up this in the back of Dean, but he's going to catch him in the wrong spot again. He's going to catch him in an awkward spot. So it's not going to be easy for Andrew to get this done here on Dean Sinkovic. So we'll have to see how he goes and see if we can get that.
We might have to jump to the front, buddy, because there is Matthew Pignata is only about half a second behind Adrian Loretti, and he's in the tow, but not quite close enough. And you can see that Adrian has kept a pretty good pace to Phil. Phil hasn't been able to run away with it so far. That gap from first back to second is under 2 seconds at the moment. So these guys are pushing hard. And here we go. Right, so Matty's close enough now for this to count.
I was following this little battle just before, Cowy, and the gap seems to be probably about 0.6 of a second to get in the draft, because Matthew was out of it just a little bit, and he didn't get it.
I was going to say, look at that. Adrian made his call early that I'm doing my one move once and I'm moving right over to the right to cover that inside straight away.
Yep. So again, now Matthew Pinata's really got to look at his options here. Where does he get the speed over Adrian already, and how does he get it set up? You don't want to be making
Adrian
a lunge
going to the
against him,
inside
you want
straight
to
away
set these.
again.
You want to set these up, so he's going to go to the outside. It's going to make Adrian slow off the bottom corner though. Oh, they're playing mind games with each other here. As we see here,
Well,
it's going to
I
make
think he
Adrian
thought
really
that
slow.
Adrian might have moved back over, so it was a little bit of a peekaboo. Oh, he's pushed it hard, but he's caught it. The rear started to go at him. That was an angry little toss of the head from the rear of the motor car there. No, is that a penalty
That's
for Jay Dixon for that
on David
contact? Yeah, we knew that one was coming out. So that was that contact down into T1 that we saw there earlier.
Okay, we will talk about this just in the last race about guys battling and giving that guy out the front a real big breather. We've just seen Phil Vella put almost 1.4 seconds on these guys now. On top.
Well,
so
it
he's
was
now
under
3
2 seconds
up.
last lap.
Yeah,
so now
he's-
that Adrian had to go to defensive for a couple of corners, that's cost him almost a whole second. Because it was
Exactly.
1.9 at this point, the previous lap, coming into, what's this, Canada corner, is that right?
Yeah, Canada corner, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised I remembered the name of it. But coming into there is 1.9 ahead, and this time he was 2.8 ahead. So this little battle between Matthew and Adrian here has cost a second to Phil out in front, and Phil's loving it. Oh, a little shimmy there for the pit, maybe. I don't think we're going to see anyone doing
Not
a pit
with
stop
6
unless it's
minutes to
needed.
go, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, nah. It'll be the next race. There'll be a stop in the spread. But here we can see Matty.
Ooh.
Okay, Adrian
Adrian.
thought, okay, he's not close enough, and I'll move back out to get the line. Though it's all a bit of grass there, but this is exciting stuff. We can see that Daniel Hunter further back, he's battling as well. P10 up 11 spots. Looks like he's battling hard with Adam Simpson here, the Fishy Motorsports machine. So there's a couple of really cracking battles going on at the moment. Let's stay on board this one for a moment. I'm keeping an eye on that time because Matty Pinata's getting awful close as well. So I think it looks like we're going to miss one, buddy.
We're not going to be able to keep the cameras everywhere. There's too much going on. These boys are just
Michael
racing
Carter looking to
hard.
make a move on Daniel Byrne, I think, as well. So there's 3 battles now that are in. Oh, look at the run around the outside, which has changed off that. Go back, buddy. Oh, no.
With Daniel Hunter, you got him on the outside.
Hey,
Yeah.
no, he's
No,
gone
he's
around the
still there.
outside.
They're still side by
He's still
side.
there, but he will have it. He will have it at the next corner. That's awesome stuff. The great respect
what's
from the
happened there?
boys, and you can see each look at each other room, and Adam Simpson go deep. Now it's going to be the carousel. And
Now it's set up in a Canada corner. He's got to get a good run out of here and through the kink, and he's got to set him up in Canada corner. Otherwise, he's got to look to
well, it looks like
the final
Adrian
corner.
already has held off Matty Pinata for another lap so far.
Sure has, and he's got
This
that gap back
battle
at half a
here.
second.
Yeah, look at that speed advantage in the toe. The draft. It's moving. Alright. Then you got to try and wash wide if you can. No. Is that Adam managed to keep it around the outside? Oh. No, he's got it done. However, but as you said, the issue is if you get it done, then you've got another big straight ahead. And if
That's
Adam
right.
Simpson gets a run here, it's back on again, and we play musical chairs for another lap.
Absolutely, Cowy. And yeah, we're going to see this again. We see the draft pick up here. We see Daniel Hunter's already playing that
Let's
offensive
go up
line.
to
Danny
Adrian
Mattezza
already,
was
Matthew
crashed.
Pignata. That's hunting up as well, buddy.
Right,
Look at
Matthew's
how
got
close
real
this is.
close now.
Almost.
Yeah, this is going to
Adrian straight to the inside. So can Matty get it done?
be...
We're not hearing him hit the limiter.
He's got to get the pass done before he gets to the corner, or he's got to... Oh, Adrian
Nice,
with
he's
the
broke a
deep
little bit
braking.
early. And he's going to try and do the undercut here.
Adrian just pushed a little deep there. I think Matty might have just thrown Adrian out there because he wasn't expecting Matthew to just jump on those brakes so quick. He was kind of hoping they'd run deeper.
I think
so
Adrian was
a
going to go deep. Adrian was going deep and Matty knew it, so Matty tried to get the little switch back underneath. But Adrian, being the F3 that we talk about this all the time, he sent it and found there was grip. So
We're just
sometimes,
4.7 to Phil Vella now. 4.7 seconds. So this is really hurting these two boys, combating the way they are on circuit right now. Dean
Well, they're
Sinkovich
not
has
worried
had
about
another
Phil
crash.
Vella anymore, buddy. They're
No,
worried about
Phil's
each other.
gone. Yeah. With just on 2.5 minutes, I think Phil Vella's got.
Adrian's gone defensive
Adrian's
again on
gone
the inside.
defensive. And he's just.
And he's breaking deeper. See here, Matty trying to get the undercut, but Adrian's getting good traction on exit there. And just positioning the
Pinata's got to
car
set him up
nicely.
here. Just got to set him up here. Just get it off this corner. Get it
That's a good
straight.
run from Matthew this time. But then Loretti gets some great speed going wide there.
I wonder
Looks
if
like the car's
Loretti's got a
loose.
slightly lower wing angle too, Cowy. Slight setup
possible.
changes, yeah. Just keeping that speed up. He seems to have more top end
He's just
speed.
holding that
or-
inside line at the moment too, I think.
If that's not the area you want to be inside
This
here.
might be Matty's opportunity.
Oh.
No, he's pulled out of it a little bit early and he's going to go for the over-under. But Loretti's carrying excellent speed on exit. So maybe this is a fixed setup series. I think it's an open setup now.
Not
I
100%
can't
sure. I'm
remember,
just
but I
wondering
think
if
it's
there's a
still
little,
fixed.
there is a little bit of a window there.
Okay, with Jay Dixon on the radio, so something's
Here we go
happened
again.
there as well.
Here we go
But here we
again.
go. So again, Loretti running inside. We've been watching this
Oh.
battle on and off for a few laps. Let's go back and have a look at, is it John McHenry and Doug Gowans?
He's
They're
got him.
battling close as
Got
well.
him. Matty got him.
Matty's
Got
got
him
him
up the
here.
inside, yeah. He's got him up the inside.
Oh.
So where you get, there we go.
Well, and there will be probably one more lap, so we'll come back to that. Look at the battle behind him. That's Adrian Loretti, Daniel Byrne, Michael Cartajar, Greg Badley, Scott Bargen in there. So that's 5 cars. Look at it.
This is crazy. That's 2 kittens
And
cars
it's
too.
kitten versus kitten. Notice that they're different coloured kittens. So they actually are, kittens racing 1 and 2 and 3. So even though it looks like teammates, I reckon this is on between Daniel and Adrian.
I wonder if, I wonder if Adrian's got a problem because he's lost a mega amount of time to Matthew Pinata just in that last lap. I
He
wonder
might
if
have
his
made a
tyres
little
have
mistake
gone.
there. That pass might have been he
Oh,
went
who's
off
that in the
track, I think,
fence?
maybe. Oh no,
Matty Gerard.
169.
Matty Gerard
That's Matty Gerard. Oh
in the
wow.
fence. Matty's been given permission to tow, so we won't see a
Yeah.
safety car.
While we're coming round to the last lap of this race, I think maybe Phil's going to get across the line. So it is white flag, yes. So white flag lap. One more lap in the first race, and that's
Daniel
up in the
Hunter.
dirt there. Who was that? Oh no!
No,
That's Adam Simpson
Adam
going
Simpson
around.
gone. I wonder if the tyres have just come off.
I wouldn't think so. I just think that the level of these guys are driving at is so hard that to compete, you've got to throw it around, and we talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Daniel
just
Hunter
grass
just
there for
grabbed the
Daniel.
grass. And what's
Yeah.
happened here? Right behind him, Adam Simpson. What's he done?
And I think Adams,
I know.
yeah, just he's just run a little bit wide.
Hit
I
the
think.
grass on exit, yeah, and just
Yeah. Yeah,
gone
so
again.
wow.
So that's unfortunate last lap, and the boys are just pushing hard.
Oh, are we getting near the end of it? So this is the last lap battle here. Phil Vella, he's got a nice commanding lead. Adrian Loretti, only about 4 tenths in front of Daniel Byrne, but that is his teammate. So we might... And this is Phil Vella coming through the carousel now, but that's a 6-second lead. Yeah, once that battle started behind him, he's been able to run away from it. I think Daniel's probably going to sit in behind Adrian here, as long as he doesn't have too much pressure.
Adam Simpson's
From
crashed
Michael
again.
Cartajar and Greg Badley and Scott Bargen and Ryan Hurlan. Drop back to Ryan. We can keep an eye on this whole battle. Look at this.
Look at the string of cars.
And you can, Ryan's just waiting for a little mistake up there. He could pick up 3 or 4 spots here in one corner if it happens. And look at that, you can see, was that Daniel Byrne running really wide to block Michael Cartajar. But here we have it, coming around the last turn. It is Phil Vella, once again, victor here in the first of our sprint rounds tonight here. It is round 5 of our F3 championship, and Phil Vella
There's
for
Barney.
Downforce Racing has run away with another one. All right, though, it will mean he has to start the next one P10, buddy, so we'll get to see him work. Matthew Pinata, well, he worked hard for that P2, had to really push the limit to get Adrian Loretti and managed to do so on that second last lap. Adrian Loretti, well, that was a great drive. He held on. I think we will find that Road America might be a little fan favourite, might be a favourite of his. And I could see there Daniel Byrne, driver 808, deciding not to, steal that last podium off his boss, right? To bring it home P4 and making sure that he's kept Michael Carter with a big block down there in the Canada corner I saw. So Michael coming home in P5. Greg Bradley was a good drive, up 3 spots. Scotty Bargin at P7, up 5 spots. Ryan Hurlehen up a couple into P8. David Gallo, P9. Michael Stevens, well, that's the P10, up 5 spots, and he'll put himself on the front row of the grid next race.
That's going to be fantastic, isn't it?
Look at this battle still going on. This is Darren Fahey and Jay Dixon still battling at the end of the race. This is for 18th, I think.
It is 17th and 18th, yeah. So the battles are all over the field.
And there we have it.
There's Stephen Sinkovich is just coming around now to finish it off.
To come around now, yeah. And Stephen was probably a bit unlucky himself. There was no Spinovic in that race tonight. It was Krashovic, which he couldn't do much about. Had nowhere to go. All right. 024. Who's that? It's got the 20. That's
There's
Dean
the
Singovich.
results.
It's got the 20-point penalty. Wow.
There's the results on screen.
So there is the results on your screen there, guys. Phil Vella, again, another commanding performance. Was under a bit of pressure there by Adrian Loretti early on,
He's in the green
but
room
managed
too.
to get it done. And Adrian maybe used up a little bit too much tyres in that early battle with Phil, because Matthew was able to battle hard at the end and get that job done on him. So it's going to be interesting to see the top 10 reverse. We've got, what, a 5-minute warm-up, do we there, buddy? 5-minute warm-up, and there, the reverse grid. Well, we'll keep an eye on that when it comes up. Have a look at the promo safety department go out and do its little parade lap.
Cool, Vella, since he's in the green room.
And let's bring Phil into the chat, yeah.
Oh, no. Where'd he go?
What happened to Phil? You dropped him down to broadcast 2, did you?
Oh, I didn't
Over chat 1. There he is, I got him. Oh, no. Can't drag him. So has he locked himself into a room? Let's see.
I
there
will drag
he
him
is.
around here, Phil. Congratulations, mate. Well done on that victory there in the heat. Tell us how it was.
Yeah, look, it was a bit tense at first, but Adrian had great place, and he was really smart about it when we broke away from the pack a bit. And then I'm not really sure what happened. I kind of just managed the gap a bit, and I think towards the end of the race, it was actually becoming quite challenging just with the grip and the heat in the tyres from those long braking zones, but managed to kind of keep it together and, yeah, got the result.
What do you tell us? Is tyres possibly on the menu in the next race?
He doesn't want to give too much away, Cowy. Come on.
I think I'd prefer to drive more conservatively than to incur the time penalty of switching the tyres around, because the cold tyres are actually quite punishing as well. You'll lose half a second to a second of pace there, plus the time it took to change them. So, yeah, I don't think so. But as the fuel load lightens up, it starts to feel a little bit sketchy.
Well, buddy, you didn't have to deal with any aero wash this race. It's coming up at the next one, mate, P10. We've seen you, like, was it the last time you started back there, they all sort of, the dominoes all fell in front of you for you to run through with it. I don't know if you're going to get it all your way tonight, because I think, Road America's a fan favourite from a lot of these drivers, and everyone knows what they're doing around here, buddy.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the reverse top 10, so then I heard position number 10 as I jumped on here, and I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think, it's not going to be easy, but we got 40 minutes to figure that out. I think with the right pit strategy and taking the time to eke out another second or so, maybe you get someone there. I don't know if fuel saving is a thing, just given how quickly the fuel in is. Maybe you'd find another second there, or maybe you could stretch it out. But yeah, I'll have to figure that out when we get back here.
Well, we saw the tow was quite dramatic, but you know, we also saw, I think the main reason to gap the boys behind is because Adrian had to go defensive quite early on every lap. So you see the guys moving over to the right going down the main straight, and they're sort of moving over to the left down the middle one. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, like even off the start line, he got a phenomenal start, and I thought, well, you know, here's my little gift to Matthew. You can have Adrian, and I'll have the inside of the turn. But yeah, I don't have that luxury this time around, so we'll see. We have to see where we get to. But
right,
I
buddy,
think
well, we're inside the last minute, so we better let you go so you can go and get ready for your next race. So good luck. Well done in race number 1, and we'll see if you've got the gumption to send it from P10 in the next race, buddy.
Yeah, turn 1, right? Turn 1. But thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Awesome, buddy. I'll drag you back down over chat.
Well, that was.
All right, there we
Phil
have Phil Vella, our championship leader, and he's extending it. And you know, but it's going to be interesting to see. We did get to see a couple of races ago him carve his way through the field, but then the dominoes all fell. There was a big crash, and he found his way through again. So hopefully it's a bit harder for him tonight, buddy, and we get to see his true chops.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to just see the boys come through. You know, the top 3, they're going to be back there in 10, 9 and 8. So, you know, they're going to have their work cut out. And we just heard from Phil, you know, he wants to be a little bit more conservative. He doesn't want to take the aggressive approach. So, yeah, I mean, that's one thing to look at. So there's the grid now on screen.
Oh, there it is. Michael Stevens finds himself in P1 with a great drive into P10. David Gallo, Kittens racing number 3 next to him. We know David had a really great round last week. You know, we found some pace and everything, so hopefully he's on the money here with a front row start. Ryan Houlihan, P3. Scotty Barjan with an opportunity near the front of the grid. I wouldn't be surprised to see Scotty send it in T1. Greg Bradley, P5, and Michael Carter. Michael Carter, another one of those guys, great pace. Has brought it over from the SR8s and has found it here. Just probably hasn't had that clear running yet. Daniel Byrne and Adrian Loretti, the Kittens, running round 4. And then it's Matthew Pinata and Phil Vella, our winner and P2 from race number 1, starting 9 and 10. Doug Gowans with a great drive for P11. Daniel Hunter. But here come the lights. We'll have to let the names go. As the lights come on, this is race number 2, 40-minute feature race. And here we go. Oh, good start from Michael Stevens. And David Gallo with a great start as well. Who's up the inside? Riley Houlihan on Scotty Barnes. And Scotty got a good start. Here he goes. They go 4 wide.
Greg Bradley 3 wide.
Oh,
turn
this
1.
could be danger.
Oh, it's contact.
Yeah, we saw that coming.
That's unlucky.
Oh, he's got away with it, but Michael Stevens, no. Just hung out to drive there. And, well, Scott Barger decided to try and make that 4 wide in a T1. We'll have to see if Race Control's got anything to say about that. But that is rough, because Dean Sinkovich has had a crash. John McHenry's had an off.
John McHenry. Dean Sinkovich has gone off as well.
It's gone deep under brakes there. That's going to cost him spots now as well. That's cold tyres and going a bit too deep. And now mid-pack and getting swamped. Oh, one little mistake, and how many spots does that cost you? About 10?
Yeah, exactly. We can jump on board here with Phil Vella. He's up 2 spots in a P8. Again, we already know what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and be conservative and just, you know, get through. He doesn't want to put too much pressure on. So that's there.
Come on, we don't want to see calmness. We want to see chaos. Chaos.
We want to see him send it. I mean, look, it's a long race.
Come on, guys, out there in YouTube and Facebook land. Who's that? Daniel Hunter running a bit wide there. Giving Phil another gift. Oh, and he's tagged the wall.
He's gone. That's broken.
And that's going to be broken car, and that will be a safety car, I would think.
Be a safety car. Unless,
can he get it?
Oh, is he seriously going to try and get this back?
Oh, no, that's dangerous. Oh, the guys are seeing him.
Daniel, buddy. Okay. He might
get it back to the pits. He might. Looks like it's enough off the ground, that wheel, that he might actually be able to get it back.
It's going to
But
be
then
tough,
again,
but,
he'll have to see if he can turn it up here and not bin it
switch
again.
back to Matthew Pinata.
Here we go, Matthew
Look at this on
Pinata
Michael
running
Cuttajar.
P5, so he's up at quite a few 4 spots already and putting pressure on Michael Cuttajar. He's going to think twice about it.
Cuttajar's gone
Matthew
for
making a
time as
move.
Oh, and Greg Bradley. So there's Greg Bradley
Michael
sitting.
Cuttajar with a great move. Greg Bradley trying to close the door on Matthew Pinata. Greg's showing good pace up here. He's a 3.7k rating driver, so certainly no shab.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
It's close, buddy.
It was
Now
close.
this
And we've
racing, and of
got
course,
Adrian
guys,
already on the back
out there
of
in
Matthew
YouTube land,
Pinata
make
again.
sure you let us know how much you're enjoying this racing, because
this
it
battle with Matthew
is
Pinata takes
phenomenal
off
at the
again.
moment.
And
Oh,
there's
Jason.
that
It's
was
Phil
Matthew, that was
and
Phil Vella,
Matthew.
yeah.
Oh, it's another car
there's
off
a
in the
huge one.
background, and that is
Is
Matthew
that Phil Vella?
Pinata with a spin. It's
that-
all on here.
Oh, that was
it is-
almost our leader from the
Oh,
last
he's almost
race.
turned in across Andrew Johnson there. Andrew could have taken him out then too, so wow. Some craziness early on. There's a fair bit to unpack there,
I was
Rob,
going to
but,
say race control's got a
wow.
fair bit to do on that one. that was a lot going on there, and this is the problem. You know, these faster guys trying to come through. The slower guys, they're not necessarily used to being up the front. Maybe not necessarily slower, but just not as experienced at the front. Just not quite having the ability there. So we'll
Phil
click
Bella
back.
trying to go around the outside here. Adrian
got him.
already.
He's got him.
Oh,
He's
Keki,
lining
hold
up
it for the next
inside.
corner. He'll have it.
Yeah, he's got him here. Yeah,
He's
nice
done
pass.
well, and-
That's beautiful pass. That puts him up in the P5 now. He's already
I
halfway
think it
back
was
to the
Doug
front.
Gowans that I saw shooting off in the background there as well, because he's on the radio. So, wow.
we're
I'm
just gonna-
surprised we haven't seen a safety car.
Go back. So this is Scotty Bargin here.
All right, so this is
So we'll
Scotty.
see
So what's
what-
happened here?
We'll try and get a chase cam and see if we can see what's happened here.
All right, so
So they're all
that's
shifting.
Doug Gowans there as well.
Oh,
I think
he's
Doug, he's
bumped.
just moved out. Him
Oh.
and Doug have made contact by the looks of that.
And then this has caused a massive big.
Oh,
look
and
at
then
Phil.
Jay Dixon's done well.
Phil actually had to
Was that
stop.
Phil?
That's
That was
Phil
Phil,
Vella.
he's done
He
well.
had to stop. In the process of that whole situation, he had to stop.
Well, it'd be interesting what race control's got to say, because, you know, when they're sort of side by side down the straight like that little contact on it, we've seen, you know, sometimes you get that sort of magnet feel that the aero drags the two cars together as well.
Oh, look at this. Look at this battle.
So,
Adrian Leddy,
but we are
Adam
back
Simpson.
live, and we're on board with Darren Fahey here, and we can see that the battle in front, it's Adrian Loretti. Adam Simpson snuck through on Adrian Loretti by the looks of it too while we're watching those replays, and now he's back on the hunt. Phil Bella's on the hunt of Greg Bradley up front. Michael Cuttajar up in P3 at the moment, so he's finally getting that clear run that he's been looking for. I would be very watchful of his pace, because Michael doesn't tend to make many mistakes, and he is fast.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Cuttajar definitely knows how to extract the pace from these cars. He's done very well so far in this first 4 rounds of the season, so I expect to see him do something pretty flash here.
Well, his I rating is 6.9k, buddy. So just a few
we'll just
K
jump
more
on
than
board with
mine. Is that?
Adrian Loretti as he just
no,
looped it.
so is that just looped, and it's that again. It's just this is the level these guys have to drive at to stay out front, and
Just
they're
pressure.
pushing it hard. And we're seeing a few mistakes, even from our experienced fast guys.
Ryan
Houlihan here with a
Darren
run on
Fahey.
Darren Fahey. As Darren doesn't go across the block,
Too early.
he's going to look at.
Too early.
Okay, no, he's looking to maybe try and keep Ryan narrow so that he can get a better run down onto the back straight. But that's a nice move from Ryan. Let's go back to Darren and see how Darren's going to tackle this. There you go. All right, so he's just going to try and set up the run down the straight here. You know, we've got a toe, but Adam Simpson in front is going to give Ryan a toe. But we've seen the double toe works really good. So is he closing in? Is he going to close up? Ryan going to the inside straight away there.
This battle's on too, back here with Thomas Anderson, Michael Simmons. That's got Adrian Loretti just in the front of those guys after that rotation. Then he had down near, I think it was Champion's Corner. Or Canada
Well,
Corner,
he'll be trying to, get those tyres back to normalcy, because the problem is when you light up the rear, the tyre temperature goes up and they're going to be greasy for the next sort of lap or so, and you try not to overdrive it, get it back in the 10, but then you get harassed by cars behind you.
That's our pole sitter right behind Adrian already there too, so back in the P13 now for our pole sitter, so again,
Michael Stevens.
Michael Stevens,
Well, he's shown good pace, and he was up in the top, qualified in the top 5, I think, for the first race, and was in a prime position. We might have to try and go back and have a look at what happened at the start there, buddy, if we can, because we've seen it completely shake up the front of the field. So maybe before we get too deep into this race, can we have a look at that race start and see what happened there?
It looks like it was all triggered by manager, but we'll definitely get back to. So we'll.
Rob trying to work his magic at the moment.
Just trying to work out which is going to be the best.
All right, so here we go. So let's have a look. So
with Sinkovic here. So this will probably unpack
so,
a bit. Oh, there it is. There,
contact there. Yep,
Bang.
that's it.
But up in front.
So who was that? Was Ryan? More... So that was Ryan Houlihan, I think, that clipped.
Michael
who did
Stevens.
He clip there in the start?
Might have been Ryan Houlihan and.
Mate, is that Doug Gowans? No,
that.
Doug went off there. He was a part of that. I don't know if Doug was the one that... it was Doug, I think. No, it wasn't. It's Adam Simpson, the Fishy Motorsports machine.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's locked on.
No, it's a locked on. That's a locked on, so that would be...
J-Mac, would it
maybe,
not be?
Might be J-Mac, yeah, because J-Mac's well back in the field now. Wow.
Yeah, could have been. And then it just...
Phil's nearly caught Greg,
and then Dean just drove on in front of Stephen there.
Wow.
And caught it. So, it was just a lap one, isn't it? I think it was just...
Alright, so let's have a look. So Phil Bella is closing in on the back of Greg. It's about 4 tenths there. Darren Fahey is also right on the back of Ryan Houlihan as well, so that's a close battle as well. And then if you look further back, we got Stevens is only 3 tenths behind Adrian Loretti, and Thomas Sanderson 4 tenths behind him. So there's a few battles going on at the moment.
This Phil Stevens,
Sanderson has just got Stevens, I think, as well.
Thomas Sanderson did just get past Michael Stevens, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
But this battle here with Phil Bella on the back of Greg Bradley and Mike Cutter, this nice even gaps here. So this is going to allow Phil a lot of time to get into his groove and focus on just getting forward, just one at a time. No real craziness needed. He's just putting the pressure on the back of Greg Bradley here, and we just saw Greg Bradley have a little bit of a wiggle. So maybe he's feeling that pressure.
Well, Greg is driving it hard. Well, I say it. Week after week, these boys are driving these things hard.
Here we go.
I know my team boss Tyson tried to do a couple of rounds and he ended up binning a couple of people and he thought he better leave before he bins any more, and he just said it's just a car that is a different beast to drive, and it takes commitment to drive them fast. You can't just jump in them and send it.
100%, and you can't. I mean, these things are definitely very technical to drive. And we do see the best of the best rising to the top each and every week in SRW F3 series, so it's really good. But we see Phil Bella now get past Greg Bradley, so now he's chasing on the back of Michael Cutter. I'd expect him not to have too many issues getting to the back of Michael Cutter here.
Michael's quick though, so I wouldn't, again, Phil's showing his pace, but Michael's also another quick driver out there, and week after week Michael's getting more confidence in driving the car.
Well.
Oh no.
We'll flick to that and go and see what's happening there with Darren Fahey.
Oh, Adam Simpson's had an off as well.
Oh.
Darren Fahey's caught out a toe, so this might be a safety car. Here we go. Oh, they've just connected under brakes there.
Yeah, it just rotated him.
And straight into the path of Adam Simpson.
Unfortunately, just nowhere to go.
Oh, no.
We saw that in the F1, didn't we? Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton.
It is. Has brought out the safety car. It was that Jay Dixon that followed him behind there too, just to try to avoid any danger.
So we do have the safety car now, so that's going to just halt the field. Oh,
Alright, you can't
oh.
pass.
Oh.
Michael, you can't pass. Safety car has been called.
That's, we're on board with Daniel Byrne there. That's David Gallo that was a bit sideways. So I wonder if he'd have rotated that. But if he
If
rotates,
he lost it, then you can take the position, yeah.
that's right. So yeah, we could have potentially seen that.
Alright, I think we're going to see the field pretty much come in all pit. Look at it all lining up. Every single one of them will be coming in. There's no point to stay out now. This will be the one window that will be needed to get these guys home.
And 12 minutes into the race. 28 minutes left, and this
I'm going to have a look at the fuel. Have a look and see, because I know there's sometimes they run really low fuels for the F3s. It's 55% tonight, so I can't see it being any more than just this one stop.
Daniel Byrne is on there now. Daniel Byrne's jumped to the top here.
Oh, so he's short field by a little bit. He's done a 4.38 versus a 5.82 for David Gallo. So far, the 4.38 is the quickest stop.
It's Matty Gerard. Matty Gerard from our TCR race sitting in P2 right now.
Well, he hasn't pitted, Matty, so he's the car that's decided to stay out. So I've got nothing against that, because sometimes that alternate strategy, getting yourself out of sync can be gold if it happens. The cards fall the right way.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So as we just march down here, there's David Gallo. Phil Vella just sitting there in P4 right now. Michael Cutterjar, so there we go. That's definitely a bonus there, because Phil Vella was chasing Cutterjar just before that pit stop. So Michael Cutterjar 4.47.
So Phil's jumped him in the pit stop as well. Look at that. So
that was a longer pit stop for Phil. So that
a longer pit stop for Phil, but a shorter pit lane time. So he just pushed the entry a little bit more.
Yeah, sure looks like he made it.
And got it there.
Drop back to Greg Bradley there in P6. Brian Houlihan in P7 there. Matthew Pinata, now this is one that's kind of surprised me. He's back there in P8. He's only up one spot from the start.
Well, he had that big moment down into the big left-hander at the end of the straight and ran wide. And, so P8 after the pit stop, I'd say that he'll be fairly, not happy, but he'll be thankful that the safety car come out when it can and it bunches everything back up again, because that gives him a second chance. I think you're talking the same for, Jay Dixon and Andrew Loretti sitting back in P10 and 11. Scotty Barge in P14, he was right in the mix there early on and made a little mistake himself, and it cost him like 10 positions. So these guys just get a little bit of a rethink and a reset, able to charge batteries, maybe grab a drink.
What's going on there? Why did Matty Gerard have to drop back one spot? He's let David Gallo through. What?
That might have been a pass under the exit from the pit lane, maybe.
Maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah,
so
maybe the pit lane got out
Well, he has
before
been penalised. It's just been a redress. So
he must have. Yeah. David Gallo must have got out to the safety car line before Matty Gerard got there. So.
And Matty was just carrying a bit more speed. So,
but even so, that still brings Matty Gerard up 18 spots, even though he didn't stop on this one. We'll have to see what that does.
Griffo's nice and happy with your shots, mate. Great shots. Who's on production next level? Thanks very much. I'm sure the sainted man is pretty happy to hear that, buddy.
Absolutely. Glad you guys are enjoying it.
That's it. Well, we do get another nice look at the promo department safety car. It's awesome having them on board once again as our safety car sponsor. Of course, tonight is brought to you by Warren and Brown Tools, our round sponsor. It is round 5 of our F3, Dallara F3 series here. This isn't the battle for the Ashes because we're doing American tracks, but we're picking tracks that really try to suit these cars. The other thing is there's a season within a season. We're going to have a season that runs the entire year that's going to try and follow as close as we can the actual real world F1 season, and we're going to try and pick tracks that mimic, or they have the characteristics of the track of that weekend. Where we do have the track, it'll be that track. But when it's not, we're going to pick the ones that have got those nice characteristics. So it's interesting to see that there's a championship within a championship. There's also a team championship as well. At the moment, it's the DFR boys out in front by 5 points over Alpha Venturi Green, which is Ryan Houlihan and Matthew Pinata. Daniel Byrne and Andrew Lydon for Kittens 2 are running P3, but they're about 55 points back. And they're equal with Daniel Hunter and Thomas Sanderson for Alpha Venturi. So, and then you've got a couple of Kittens that are on equal points. David Gallo and Danny Matisek, and then Adrian Loretti and Darren Fahey on 300. So the team game is pretty tight out there as well, buddy.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
Championships within championships within championships.
Yeah, and look, I mean, that F1 series that we're running this season, this year, throughout all seasons, quite the innovative little tool to try and get the boys confident and get them bringing some extra practice and get in there. So, I mean, that's just a nice little innovation.
Well, you got to get in and race, buddy. You can do that, buddy. Get in and have some fun, mate, because it has been some awesome racing.
Absolutely.
We're always looking to try and improve the level of the show that we can provide for you guys. And, you know, I've been working on my high-pitched, excited voice. I'm trying not to squeeze anything to get that high-pitched voice. It's more about just getting excited. And to be honest, it's these boys, the racing that's going on. I don't really have to work hard at it at all. But Griffo, yeah, come along and join us, buddy. Also, if you want to come and join us in the commentary team, I know SRW are putting feelers out, looking for more guys that are interested in coming on the other side of the equation and join us behind the scenes as either commentator or producer. So if you are interested, please reach out to us in the Discord. You know, just search for Sim Racing World and you'll find us. I think you can get it through the website too. There's links to our Discord channels there and that if anyone's interested in joining us in any capacity, whether it be a driver, commentator, producer, or even fanboy. So,
everyone needs a fanboy, mate. We all need fanboys. Definitely,
that's it.
Definitely need those things there. So as we see the field now bunch up on the safety car, this is going to make for an interesting restart. Phil Bellis at P3, he was our winner from the last one.
Well, Daniel Hunter is out still. John McHenry is out by the looks of it, or is blacked down. Here comes Daniel out now.
Right on cue.
So it looks like a fast repair, and that car looks as good as new. He's going to hopefully try and get it back.
Safety car's going around again through the carousel as we.
And the race controller's reading out a couple of racing incidents. I think there was someone calling a bit about, you know, not leaving racing room. I think that might have been Phil on the line there. There was a couple of guys that were racing hard and race control's going, well, boys, you know, you race close together, little niggles, sort it out yourselves.
Safety car is in this lap. So we'll jump on the roll bar here with Phil Vella.
Look at this, Phil Vella, P3, and he's managed to jump Michael Cuttajar in the pit stop. So not only is this guy fast on the track, but he knows how to play the safety car and the game. Go to Simo for Ty Delaney. He copped it in that last one, but thankfully has been able to get a fast repair Ty, and he's currently running in 16th. He was a bit higher, just had nowhere to go. Poor guy.
There's your boy there, Ty. Adam Simpson on stream right now.
Yeah, Ty's the junior fishy, so of course he's going to be supporting the main fish out there, the piranha. You got to tell him where's. We had your dad in here a couple of weeks ago, I think, Ty. So where's he going? Well, he should be racing in the F3s. Maybe you can have a go at him. I know you've been working hard on your V8 driving, buddy. And again, I loved racing with you last night again. And on Sunday, I think I ended up behind you on Sunday too. But get more of those fishies involved and join Adam out here in the F3s. So look, checkups. We go, here they go. Look at that. All right, so they've held them right to the line. Daniel Byrne, and looks like there might have been a bit of contact under the safety car there too. That's under review by race control, Rob.
Yeah, Dougie Downs and Adam Simpson, look at that, mate.
Yeah.
We'll get these boys settled in.
See how we go. Phil Vella is going to be on the charge. He's already up 7 positions in this race. And our race 1 winner, and he's found himself back up near the front once again. David Gallo. Is David going to go defensive early on? He's not.
Phil's going to make a move.
Phil's going to make a move.
Who's going to get him here?
And Dave's going to try to put the switch back under, but Phil's got it done.
Phil made that pass very comfortable.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel really tried to fight him too much.
I don't think he did.
This early on. And, I mean, something happens when you know there's the fast guys behind you. You can maybe hold him up, fight him up, but the problem is it might hurt your own race. You use up too much of your tyres, throw your own strategy out. If, maybe Dave's running low fuel numbers here and he needs to get into Phil's draft for a bit. So...
Look at this pack here. This is angry, this pack.
Just a few cars out there, buddy. Adrian already back in P12. So he had that contact early.
Here comes that draft. The draft's taking massive effect right now. Is he going to send it?
Scotty Barton.
He's going to send it. And the move on in front as well with Jay Dixon and Sanderson.
He's had to get out of it there, Adrian, because he was going to wash into Scotty, so that's some smart driving there. Adrian knew that if he pushed that anymore, he was going to make contact.
This is going to put Scotty on the back of the guys in front
another day.
And that's going to bring Scotty forward as well to the other pack that was just battling, as we saw, just in front of Adrian already, and Scotty Barton there as they were going through. That's Jay Dixon and Thomas Sanderson. So what was a 2 car is now turning into a 4 car, which could turn into a 6 car.
Look at the run here.
Very quickly.
Scott's not going defensive. He's just driving his own lines at the moment.
We'll just make
Adrian's got that move done. Alright. Scott Barton has been given a penalty for that contact, so it's going to make it hard for him to recover in this race. He'll need another safety car. We're currently showing as a replay at the moment, buddy.
No, we're live.
Okay.
We're live.
Might be my system that's doing it. Oh, there we are. Just a little bit behind.
Just playing tricks on you, mate. Racing is so fast, we have to slow it down and get you to replay it just so you can keep up with it all.
That's how I get a word in. No,
Matty Gerard, you're on the back of Steven Sigovic.
All right, Stephen's got a bit defensive there as well, so this is a battle that's been brewing for a little bit as well. I know looking at those timing sheets, you're going to love looking at the timing sheet when safety cars just come in, because all you can see is orange and yellow. And look at this battle here. Is that Greg Bradley getting sandwiched by a couple of Alpha Venturi cars?
It is, and it's Matthew Pinata right behind him. We'll jump on the roll bar and have a look at this, because that's Ryan Houlihan. Obviously wants to try and get Greg Bradley backed up a little bit to Matthew Pinata there, but we're going to see the run here.
Yeah,
is he going to
look at that. I think you're going to see Ryan break a little bit early, just slow Greg up a little bit. A few team games going on here maybe,
100%.
But this is the advantage of having multiple runners in the race. Greg's a loner at the moment. He's got to do it all himself.
Greg's stuck there. Looks like
Matty Gerard's had a moment, has he?
Looks like he has. He's gone out. Scotty Barton's entered the pit lane, so it's serving that drive-through. Matthew Pinata here just looking. Oh, Matthew, you can't get through there, buddy. There's no room for an F3 car in that one.
Greg thought he'd leave half a car width and see if Matthew wanted to do a go-go gadget squeeze and try and get through there.
What are we going to do, Matthew?
All right.
He's got to set him up. This is his key. He's got to set him up here now.
Well, you can see that Greg's straight away staying over to the right. I like how Greg is, over to the left, but I like how Greg's staying half a car over the left. He's not going right over the edge, you don't need to. Just need to make sure a car can't fit up there. Matthew trying to go around the outside. Can he stick it around, go deep? He's breaking a little bit deep. Can he keep it around the outside? Greg's holding the line there. He'll still have the inside call for the next one. So this is where Matthew try and get a little flick under. No, good driving from both these guys.
That's fair driving. It's good battling too. It's very hard, fair racing. But that's going to give Ryan Houlihan a bit of a gap now.
And Doug Gowans has received a penalty for that contact under the safety car.
Right.
So I know that there's been race controllers talked about policing that quite heavily. Last season in the V8s, we saw a little bit of sort of nose to tail, you know, under that concertina, and that's why they've added to the rule book the 3 to 5 car limit, car distance that you need to lead to try and prevent that sort of stuff. It does mean that in a big field you end up a long way back.
Have a look, because
replay?
this is under the safety car. So I'm not sure. Oh no! Oh, I see what's happened. Oh, he's just.
Oh, it's heavy damage. That's why.
He thought that they were going, and they didn't. They just checked up on.
And the problem is that's hurt Adam Simpson. Cost Adam Simpson his race because Adam had to use his sparse repair earlier, and that's why we see Adam right back at the back of the pack
Adam's
of
out
the field now.
Unfortunately, it was just a misjudgment. I'm sure Dougie Gowland is probably going to be kicking himself for that one, and he won't be happy at all with that.
And unfortunately, Ty, we can't really say go Simo anymore because it looks like he got taken out on nothing of his fault. It's unfortunate, but I suppose it is racing.
With 12 minutes to go, it's it'll be very hard to see Simo climb that leaderboard now. So I think he'll be sitting. Was he now 3 laps down? So that's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
well, we are, as you said, we're inside the last 12 minutes of this motor race.
Here on David Gallo. The battles just keep raging right now. Michael Cutter literally on the back of David Gallo as we picked up that battle. But, dare I say it, Cowy, dare I say it, Phil Vella's gone to the front.
Has he got to the front?
He has gotten to the front. Here is the pass.
The pass, Daniel Byrne, so...
Here is the pass that Phil Vella put on for the lead coming down. Oh, look at this. Just textbook, wasn't it? It was just textbook. He just got right up under the back wing, took to the inside.
Unfortunately, that contact that we saw there before for was it Adam Simpson and
Doug Gowans?
And Doug, no, that one was penalised. There was another contact we just saw there before. Race control just coming on saying that it was a lot of net code involved. So no further action there. All right. Well, looking at Michael Cutter here, and he is trying to get onto the podium. I think it's for the first time this season. Yeah, so far, no podium finish I could see for Michael. And here he goes, making the move up the inside of David Gallo. That is the line into turn 1. And he's got it done. Now can David get the switchback done? Or will he just sit in behind him and try and get the done down? Get it done down into, was it T4? Down the end of the straight. But he's got Ryan Houlihan behind him to worry about too, so
I was just about to say that,
too.
I was just about to say he's going to fall straight back in the clutches of Ryan Houlihan now, so that's going to make it very interesting. But here comes the run. Houlihan's going.
Nathan Burney just on the comm saying maybe you've got to come up a little bit, Rob. You're a bit low.
Mate, my mic smacks with yours, so I'm not sure what's going on there. It might just be a YouTube connection. I'm not sure.
Okay, no, that's all good, buddy. But
thank you,
look
Bernie.
at that.
We do
Michael
appreciate
Cutter pushing hard there, got up the inside of David, but David's done well to hold it. These guys are battling hard. We are about 11, oh no, we are inside the last 10 minutes of this motor race. So like always on a Wednesday night, time flies when we're having fun. And what better fun is there than watching a bunch of F3s cut and tear up Road America?
Yeah, absolutely, Cowy. And here's that battle pack from P6 right forward there to, you know, P4, P3. Greg Bradley, Ryan Houlihan, Michael Cutter, David Gallo, all in amongst all this stuff here. So it goes back. I mean, this pack is just, it's not over. This is anybody's race right now.
We can see how hard they're pushing. You know, that was edge of grip there from Greg Bradley. You can hear the car sliding. We saw the same from Ryan in front. You know, that was a moment from losing the rear end. And you see, stepped it out there. It's all that slip angle, try and open up the turn. I know that, you know, talking about my F1 history, they sort of asked why Michael Schumacher was so good in his day. And what they used to say is he was able to get the car to the edge of grip really quickly, and one of the things he was able to do was to actually use more slip angle than anyone else would, to the point that he'd almost flick the car in so that the car would rotate in before the apex and he could accelerate through the apex.
Yeah, exactly right.
Now, other drivers have said that, like, that is a pretty advanced technique. It's not impossible, but the thing that Michael did is he did it every corner, every lap. That was the thing that set him apart. So we can see here that these boys are pushing as hard as they dare. A little bit of a dust grab there from Matthew Pinata. He's got Jay Dixon behind him. His teammate has carved his way through P10 to take it back to the front. Our race 1 winner tonight, and is now got a 2-second lead over Daniel Byrne, driver 808. Running in P2, Michael Cuttajar, he's hanging on to that P3, half a second ahead of the second Kittens machine of David Gallo, and then we've got Ryan Houlihan, Greg Bradley and Matthew Pignata. So at the moment, it's the Kittens with the edge over the Alphas. Oh, Thomas Sanderson has crashed. He said he's going to try and make it back to pit lane. He's just letting race control know.
Look at that. Oh, there was a big lunge there. Ryan Houlihan had a big lunge. It's all on,
buddy.
Cowy, it's all on. Oh,
it is a safety car, so I think Thomas Sanderson has been unable to get that car around, so it bunches everything up, and we are going to have a 4 or 5 minute dash at the end of this motor race to decide it all. Oh, wow.
Talk about a grandstand finish. Oh, the safety cars missed the leader.
Missed the leaders, so that means we're going to get another lap.
Unfortunate there for the safety car, just called at the wrong time, but as we're talking about Phil Vella carving his way back from P10 up to the front, not only has he done that, but he's gone and set the fastest lap of the race with a minute 57.65. He's not messing around tonight. Phil Vella's on a charge, and at this point in the race, this safety car is what he did not want. He's in a good groove, good rhythm. He just needed to get through this period with no safety cars, so unfortunately
I don't think it's going to phase him though, but the issue is we're going to probably only get 1 lap on the safety car, and by the time it comes around we're going to be within that last 5 minutes of the race, so we may be talking about we might be looking at a green-white checker,
I was going to say, we're already in that window. By the time they pick the safety car up, there's still about a minute. That's going to be 35 minutes in the race. It's going to leave us 5 minutes. Safety car does a lap, 2.5 minute lap. We're on for a dash. It's a grandstand finish.
Adam Simpson, buddy, we saw what happened there. That was a bit unfortunate. I can understand why you'd be a bit peeved, buddy. But next week's a new week, and hopefully we see you back. See if you can bring a couple of those other fishy motorsports guys along with you, man, and maybe you can run a pack. Because we've seen here, there's quite a few teams out here at the moment running as packs. And
Cowy, it's not a pack for fish, it's a school.
A school.
You need to bring the school to class, mate. That's what we need to do.
It's a pack of piranhas, mate. Come on.
We need to get more of the fishy boys in, Adam. Come on, man.
Well, if you've ever driven against any of the fishy motorsports guys, you know they're a pack of piranhas. So,
you're right. Get the curvies, get the
so here we go,
windings.
safety car is in turn T1. So so there's a whole lap there. Right, so race control is saying with inside the 5 minutes, he was trying to catch the field last lap, but he said it would be a quick one. We will be in this lap, so it'll be bunching them up for a mad dash, and we're going to look at maybe 2 or 3 minute finish. So I think we are right to use a NASCAR term, buddy. This might be a green-white checker. Nathan Burney seems to think that climate. Oh, yellow-green confusion, is it? Or is that are you saying I'm confused, Nathan, or have I got the terminology completely wrong? I'm not a NASCAR aficionado by any means. It's Logitech Series Wednesday for the rest of the boys. Okay, I see you why. So a couple of the, I know Jamie and Mr. Whiting and Delaney. Those guys are certainly quick enough to make it into that Logitech series. So
Kirby would also be part of
boys.
That, wouldn't he?
Oh, you meant Adam's issue, yeah, buddy. It's these things happen. Race controller's asking a question. Matty Gerard added. He's just reporting the car slow. Okay, that's good. No. All right. Well, this will be the safety car driving away pretty soon as they come up to the carousel. And what that's going to give us is this good.
2 laps. I think 2 laps. We're going to get
maybe 2 laps. Yeah. So it will be a white flag as they go around, I would say. Oh.
No, we're going to
maybe we might get 2. Might get 2.
Yeah.
It might get 3 laps in, I reckon. It's going to be interesting.
We're going to
well, generally, if it's inside the last 2 minutes when you cross the line, you get the white. But that also depends on the length of the lap. These guys are lapping under 2 minutes, so that might mean you need to be inside, a 1 minute 50 before it'll go, white flag. All right, well, it is Phil Bella, Daniel Byrne, Michael Carter, David Gallo, Ryan Houlihan, Greg Bagley, Matthew Pignata, Jay Dixon, Adrian Loretti, and Darren Fahey. That is your top 10. So you're looking at, what is that? 4 kittens, 4 kittens, 2 Downforce Racing, 3 alphas. Yeah,
it's all in there.
3 alphas, I think. So
look at Michael Cutterjar's brakes as he comes past the camera here. Look at how orange they are. He's riding them brakes.
Oh,
he wants maximum brake performance on this restart.
I'm trying to get heat. Well, dragging brakes used to be an exploit in iRacing. I don't think it's really considered an exploit anymore.
Oh,
because they changed
gone.
the tyre model that we all heard.
Phil's
gone early.
He's gone. He's out of here. He's like, see you, boys.
We've seen him do that once before. And the thing is, that's caught a couple of the mid-pack runners there.
Sleeping,
I think Jay Dixon and Adrian Loretti and Darren got caught a little bit there. Oh, Ryan Houlihan looking to go up the inside of David Gallo.
He's got the run and he's going to make it P4. So now he's on the hunt for Cutterjar to get back on the podium to bring himself forward just one more spot.
Cutterjar's right on the back of Daniel Byrne as well. Yeah. But Phil Bella, what a jump. He caught them all by surprise and he's got a second as well.
I'm not quite sure Ryan's going to have enough to get to Michael Cutterjar, but we just have to wait and see. He's going to be battling, Cutterjar's going to be battling hard with Daniel Byrne here, so it's going to give Houlihan just that little bit of incentive to just press on a little bit harder, try and make a move.
I'm just reading the comments there. Nathan, I totally agree with you, mate. Do enough laps in any cars or on this thing, you're going to make a mistake that, you probably said that was foolish to someone else about it. You have to go and make it yourself. Just the nature of racing, I suppose. But yeah, Adam, we don't like to see things like that, buddy, but hopefully you're back next week and have a crack of a race. All right, board with David Gallo. Can he get back at Ryan Houlihan? That Alpha Venturi machine taking advantage of him last lap. Michael Cutterjar, he's just fallen off the back of Daniel a little bit there. So we're coming inside. There's going to be white flag next time around for sure. And Ryan here is, David trying to make a look out the outside. He's got a bit left there. Was that contact? I don't know. Or just a Matthew Pignata's crashed as well. Oh no.
Steven Sinkovic, Denny Matezic, they've all gone off.
Oh, so I wonder if they've gone off to avoid Matty's moment. We'll have to have a look at that after this race, buddy, because we are on. Flags. That is the race. That is it. Yeah. So it must have one lap.
He's done it again.
So we didn't even get a white checker.
Phil Vella, you need to stop doing this. Setting the fastest lap of the race on the last lap again.
He's still driving, Phil, so I don't know if he knows that the race is over. He's still pushing hard here. Yeah, look at he's still pushing hard.
Phil.
Oh, now he realised, hang on, race is over.
Oh, yeah, no, the race is done. He was still going hard.
Oh,
he wouldn't have a lap.
Well, we thought we might have got 2 laps. We only got 1 at the end of the race there, but
that was kind of interesting, mate. That was what a race! What a 40 minutes.
Look, every week the F3s have brought something, exciting and new. The battles have been great. We're getting to see a mix of drivers. Okay, so here we're seeing what happened to Matthew Pignata. So what's happened here?
I think he's just grabbed the
bit of grass, is it?
Or is he
no,
turned
he's
in?
just sent it a little bit too hard. It's crossed up and he's run just a little wide and that's slipped it. And as he comes straight in front. Oh, no. Bounce. Oh, no, he's done well.
Oh, no, he's... Oh, no, don't. Oh,
no.
And
that might cost him a penalty.
Oh, no.
That might cost him a few points, Matthew. Well, we'll have to see what race control's got to say about that, but they do say a race controller's job is never done. Well, it tends to be a bit like that after the F3s tear it up around a racetrack. It has been round 5 of our F3 series here, guys. This series has been going gunbusters. I've been here since the start. To watch it grow, we've gone from fields of 10 or 12 cars to now fields regularly well over 20 and up into the 30s. So it's great to have your support, all of the drivers, and out there on YouTube. So it is Phil Vella for Downforce Racing, our victor once again tonight with a pair of P1s. Obviously, I think the round victory is pretty easy to work out. Based on that, Daniel Byrne, driver 808 for Kittens Racing, has put it in P2, and Michael Cuttajar, our privateer from the SR8s, I'm finally going to get to have a chat to him and see what he thinks about these wing machines.
You've been hanging for this, haven't you, Cowy? Honestly.
I've been waiting for him to make the podium and see what he thinks the difference between, because like me, he was one of those guys that really loved the SR8. I think, we also had Scott Callahan, who was basically, he sponsored the season to keep it going. And he loved those cars as well. So, yeah, I will be interested to see what Michael's got to say. Hopefully we can get him in the chat very soon. But, Rob, you've jumped out from behind the screens once again to join me in comms, buddy. It's been awesome to have you with us and, give me someone to talk to. Unfortunately, it looks like Toddy's little one was being a bit crook, I think he said. So Toddy will put his apologies in for not being here. Oh no, that's a Sinkovich. That's a Spinovich. It's always a Spinovich in the background. Anyone else does that in the background of a shot, they get in trouble.
Oh boy, he's done it again. Dean Sinkovich just backing it into the wall. Oh no, Cowy, look, it's been a fun night, and look, condolences to Toddy. Obviously we missed him tonight, having him here at the TCRs, but it's what we do here at SRW. We try and
he had a sick little one, and I suppose when you're a dad, you got to look after your little ones first, so
exactly right. And look,
for me it's a puppy, and I've got a pen I can lock him in right next to me at the moment. So all right, well, I was trying to see if we could get Michael Cuttajar in the room.
Wait for Cuts to see if he comes in.
Let's give him a moment.
Just enjoy these little post-race celebrations here by, is that Daniel Byrne, I think? Yeah, they're doing some...
Yeah, well, I don't know if Daniel was streaming tonight. He does have his Driver 808 channel on YouTube, so he may be streaming. I know that Adrian Loretti has been streaming a few races as well, so...
Well, hopefully Adrian sees that we got his livery on stream this week.
All right, well, it looks like we are missing Michael Cuttajar. If Michael appears in the chat, we can drag him down, but let's bring in driver 808. Daniel Byrne, driver 808, buddy. That was a pretty crazy finish there. One lap. I thought it was going to be two, and you only ended up with one lap, buddy.
Yeah, we only had one lap in the end, and Phil got a really good start. He went when I wasn't expecting it at all, and he managed to gap me. I was hoping I was going to be able to be within his toe and maybe have an attack on the last straight, but he just gapped me straight away.
Well, buddy, you were right in the thick of it there with Adrian up in front of you, and it was some fairly sort of, well, I don't know if I call it crazy stuff, but there was action aplenty, and you would have had that eyes in the back of your head around this place.
Yeah, I had the first race there. I had Michael Cuttajar on the back of me for pretty much the entire race, pressuring me in pretty much every corner. So it was stressful, but it was a heap of fun as well because he was really clean, and we were able to go side by side a couple of times, and it was really good. That's what it's all about, I reckon.
Yeah, I was hoping to have a chat to Michael tonight. I wanted to see what he thought about these compared to the SR8s, because he used to race with us in the SR8s and was quite quick in them too. But yeah, look, Daniel, so there's a fair bit happening around you with the other Kittens boys. How was the radio chatter going on?
There was a lot of yelling and screaming. I wasn't 100% sure what was happening because they weren't communicating everything to me. But it sounded like they might have had a bit of a rough race down the back there. There might have been some collisions or two, I think. But yeah, I'll have to watch it back.
Well, it was certainly exciting from our point of view, buddy. So, we're not going to, I suppose, let you guys get away with it. But this is what we want to see, man, and, I don't think there's anyone that tried really silly moves, but sometimes, you've got to send it. You've got to, that toe can put you right into contention when you don't even think about it sometimes.
Yeah, there's 3 big straights on this track there. So if you're within 0.6 of the guy in front of you, you're going to have a toe, and you're actually going to be able to get side by side with them by the end of it. So it makes it really interesting. It's probably one of my favourite tracks because of that, I think.
Well, we did notice that, you were one of the guys, like Adrian was moving to the inside and defending every chance he got in the race number 1. But we noticed that that you, especially going into T1, you weren't too worried if they got up the inside of you. Is that because you had the big straight coming up?
Yeah, I was pretty worried. I have to admit, I was worried because that's pretty scary. If you clip wheels or something there, it's race over. You're going to go flying off into the wall there. But yeah, I prefer taking the racing line there as opposed to kind of hugging the inside of turn 1. But all the other corners, I tried to stay on the inside and defend. Seemed to work for me. I was able to keep Michael behind me, and I reckon he was probably faster than me, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to hand it over to Rob and see if he's got any questions for you before we get you to let us know who's looking after you boys. Rob?
No,
I'm sure you enjoyed the race. Well, I know you enjoyed the race, buddy.
It was fantastic. It was just great. No, I mean, obviously it was we were just watching the replay there at the start when the 2 cars were spearing off in front of you there, Daniel. I guess that would have been a heart and mouth moment for sure.
It was. It's all a bit of a blur. Like there was smoke everywhere. There was cars sideways, and I just saw a gap and kept it planted and managed to get through it. But it's pretty scary, yeah, when you see that in front of you.
Was that a Days of Thunder reference there, buddy?
Yeah,
that's right.
cheeky. But no, we'll let Daniel shout out the sponsors and get him back out of here. Obviously, go and catch up with the team and do some notes and all that kind of stuff that they do. So, mate, who's keeping you guys in the action?
Yeah, so Kittens Racing, Driver 808 on YouTube and TikTok, AML Technology, the boys at Carlin's, and shout out to Bianca and my daughter Atari.
Awesome.
Buddy,
Big shout out to the family.
Good to see you up on the podium and Adrian in the first race. And so, good to see the Kittens boys getting back to the front and battling hard, buddy. Well done.
Yeah, we got the claws out and we're battling.
Awesome, mate. Well done. I'll try and see if I can come up and have a chat to the boys afterwards. But yeah, no, well done. And great work from Driver 808.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Daniel.
All right, let's bring Phil down now. We're not getting sick of talking to you, Phil, but you had to do a bit of work this time. But again, those musical chairs just seem to part for you at the right time, don't they?
Yeah. Look, I think I had some really fortunate moments actually. I think not getting caught up in Matt's accident after we battled through turn 5 was quite fortunate. I wasn't sure which way he was going for a sec. and then I just seemed to be able to make that dive into the turn there work for me in terms of just getting to that position and then trying to drive a little bit ahead. That long right-hander is really challenging with the wash, so I always try to kind of prioritise getting ahead there, or take a different line to avoid the wash of the car in front and optimise for the exit. That seemed to work pretty well too.
So that dive you were talking about, it almost sort of seemed like it was again another one of those moments where you just trust the downforce and turn it in and the car sticks.
Yeah. For the first few moments, you get an immense amount of grip, and then the velocity of the car decreases and the downforce decreases along with it. And so you've got to, you've got to really pay attention to that initial application, and then just through the mid part of that braking is probably where most people start to struggle a bit, and then just nice and gentle easing off, because otherwise it doesn't behave really nicely at the apex for you.
Well, we just saw on the screen there the replay of that moment with Matty losing it at the start there, and then you also had Adrian already, and was that Adam Simpson putting pressure on you as well there. So, pretty crazy stuff at times, but I suppose that's what gets the heart rate running, and the reason we keep coming back week after week, mate.
Yeah. Actually, I was really worried that because I slowed down so much to avoid that someone would hit me from behind, because you don't have great visibility through there. I think someone did come up the inside of me and around me, but I think it was one of the Kittens cars, and they're always, typically quite nice to race with. So, I think we had a good few laps, and then just got back into the rhythm.
Well, there's no brake light on these things either, so you don't know when they're stopping.
No, which is odd, because there's a pit limiter light. So that'll blink happily, but no, you get no warning when you're coming into the braking zone.
Well, hopefully that light will get a bit more use. Hopefully season 3 we'll have to see if the rain comes, but that will be flashing in the rain, buddy. It'll be a whole new experience in the F3s in the rain.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we can't keep it together in the dry, then yes, it would be a bit challenging. I was surprised at the late safety car. I think there's probably a driving standards discussion at some point, because the blue cars baited it out twice now.
Well, I think what happened is you were too quick for the safety car, and he couldn't get out to get in front of you, so it ended up being 1 lap instead of 2 laps. So
we were joking about, like, do I do the slowest lap ever, so we finish under a safety car, or do I just gun it? And I thought, I'll just try to get the safety car in as quickly as I can and maximise the racing time afterwards. So if I struggle for position.
You read the start beautifully. I know that Daniel said you caught him by surprise. So, and that gave you that second gap, and that's all you needed there for the end there, buddy.
Yeah. I was thinking a lot about what that restart would look like. I'm not a fan of dragging it up to the start and finish line. It just condenses everyone. And so as soon as they said, "Hey, you're released," I was just like, okay. I think most people would expect me to go before the last turn, and so I had that opportunity on the second last turn and just took it.
Awesome. I suppose when you've got 4 or 5 other teammates out there, you might want to bunch it up. But Jay was a little bit mid-pack and had his own battles. Was he vocal in the chat?
Jay certainly expressed some perspectives, yes.
Look, we know that everyone, we can get emotional at times and we get right into the heat of the battle, but that's what it is. It's just a battle. It's not the war. The war starts again next week. So, Jay can come back and have another go, and we know that you boys are loving it, enjoying it, and loving having you here, even if you are clean sweeping it.
Yeah, I think Jay had a great race, given the adversity and challenge that he faced to pick up the positions he did. I think was really good. I think racing's a bit like that. Sometimes the calls go your way. I protested one, and I guess I felt aggrieved by that. But race direction reviewed, and the decision they make's ultimately final. And so we just go from there.
That's it. Well, we keep hearing about these DFR sponsors. I suppose you better let us know who's giving you guys all this support, and why you keep coming back. Well, you keep talking about it, man. So I suppose you're entitled to it.
Yeah. So I'd love to thank my teammates at DFR. just wonderfully privileged to be a part of the team and have the opportunity to represent them in a series like this. I'd like to thank Jay. Like, Jay is the brains behind things, just in terms of the strategy and the way we position and drive. So, very grateful to him for the right calls that he just keeps on making. The Andrej guys, Greg and Andrew, just really appreciate both the practice sessions and the racing with them. They're a great bunch, as well as Doug Gowans, who got us into the series whilst he's dominating the TCRs. So just a big shout out to those guys. As always, I'd like to thank my wonderful wife for making the time so I can enjoy this hobby. I'd like to thank yourselves. Not only does my wife make the time for this, but I also make her watch the commentary and replay afterwards.
Cool.
And we're going to do that again, so that's going to be great.
Hi, Mrs. Miller.
And I'd like to thank the series sponsors. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. Racecraft specifically is just like going into a toy shop of sim racing. Absolutely love it. So very grateful for their support. And as always, the race organisers, race direction. There's an immense amount of work, testing, and validation of the rules that goes on, and to run a high quality series like this. And we're very fortunate that they've invested that effort, and we're lucky enough to see the results.
Awesome, buddy. Well, once again, you are coming to the top of the pile, the cream on the top. Phil Vella with another victory here. Can anyone stop him?
No.
Is the target well and truly on your back, Phil?
No, look, I don't feel like that. It's a really friendly series. I just we've got a set of rules we race to, but I don't feel like I'm coming up on two cars that are blocking or anything like that. Like I said, the only kind of challenge I have is around just some of the driving standards that are drawing out those late safety cars.
Well, I think, again, we're just seeing guys trying, and I know myself, man, that these things here, to drive them is one thing. To drive them fast is another thing, and then to try and push and make moves in them is another thing again. So, it's great to see the action. I know that, commentators tend to love safety cars because it bunches it all back up again. But, mate, you handled it perfectly once again and come away with a W.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity to race this week.
All right, Phil Vella, number 42 for Downforce Racing, our victor in tonight's round 5 here at the F3s. Well, Rob, that brings us to the end of another broadcast, buddy. What were your highlights of tonight's TCRs and F3s, buddy?
Mate, I can't put one highlight down. It's just the night itself. The racing is just, it's explosive. It's dynamic. I mean, if you don't enjoy it, there's something seriously wrong, because, every TCR race, every F3 race just turns it on and gives us a spectacle that we love watching.
Well, I could say that the lap ones of all three races tonight was so exciting, to the point there was no way we could capture everything that was going on. It was absolutely crazy. And, again, not crazy driving, but there's guys out there that are able to send it on cold tyres. There's guys out there that, that are really looking after it, trying to hang on to it. And when you put all of them together and mix them up into a big stew, like the TCRs and F3s on a Wednesday night, it's full excitement.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what this Wednesday night's all about. It's a big double header. It's just outright pure adrenaline rush. So I love Wednesday nights. It's a great night of the week to watch racing. And again, hopefully the people out on YouTube land have loved it. And be sure to smack that follow button, hit the subscribe, come join us. As we said earlier on in the stream, if you want to get involved, hit us up on the website, srw. Is it srwtv.com?
simracingworld.com.
Yeah, simracingworld.com. There you go. And
.com.au, I think. So
come and be a part of it.
There is a couple other Sim Racing World sites out there, but you'll find us. Come to the Discord, sign up, guys. That will bring us to the end of our coverage of round 5 of our TCRs and F3 series here at SRW TV. As Rob said, if you are enjoying the content, please give us a like, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the racing here at Sim Racing World TV. On behalf of management and the broadcast team here, on behalf of Rob, I'll speak for you, Rob, sainted
Go for it,
man,
mate.
Hayter. This is Cowy, your average sim racer, signing off, saying good night, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Sim Racing World TV.
The total one, this is amazing. Up and clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble model right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tannock, Jamie Dyke just blown away from him.